shot. I get everything that I got. Hello. Oh, for fuck's sake, I opened chat immediately and I see tablet. Oh, no. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh my god, I don't care about the misogyny in One Piece. I just want to tell TikTok I'm live. Fuck my life. We're live. We're live. There we go. Come join. Because why not? We're ranking shit. Oh my god, my TikTok is just fucking broken. We're live. Red app. Link in bio. Come join. We're ranking shit. Now! There we go. How we doing? Hello, Philly Wagon. Hello, Quips. Hello, Tablets. I see that thingy isn't fucking working for some reason. Let's try and get it working. Come on. There we go. Hello, Admiral. I don't know if I said hi to you yet. Joshua short for Joshua short form is Shua. No, it's not. What? Joshua's a full name. Joshua's a full name. Josh is the short form. And Josh's root origin comes from Jose. So yeah. Let's get our information correct. Loshua? Huh. Would my short form be Losh? Osh. Alright, Osh. Excuse me for eating Ben & Jerry's, by the way. It's Duelist Delish. Never had it before. It's quite nice. Very, 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 sweet, though. So what is a Shua? That's a great question. Let's Google it. What is a Shua? What is a Shua? Nope, that's a shush. The meaning of Shua primarily depends on the cultural and linguistic origin. There's a Hebrew origin, which means wealth or prosperity, or cry to help, or salvation. She with Mandarin pinyin is usually in the term of swiping. And Arabic, it means a ray of light, a gleam, or to shine. So yeah, I guess we learned shit. Hi, Jack. We're not doing this shit in bed again. That's old. It's old. It's dead. We're not doing that awful crap ever again. But today, ladies and gentlemen, it is, let's be honest, it is entirely lads. I have 3 tier list for you. We're going to carry on with the stories I've read. As you can see, there's a whole lot more stories I've added. Then there is the Pokemon games tier list, going from goated to, you know what? Fuck bad. Why? To why do these fucking things exist? To then a Dark Souls-like, bosses ranking. So yeah, today should be fun. I also got my dates mixed up. This stream would have happened like 2 hours earlier if, well, one, my friend fucking woke up to answer his message, the cheeky prick. And two, if I was able to read. Boss ranking. Are you eating Ben & Jerry's ice cream? Yes, sir. It's a new flavor in my shop. Never seen it before. I mean it. It's quite nice. As I should. It'll just remind me to play more Souls and Souls-like games. Good. Souls and Souls-like games are great. Whilst I am here, though, I'm just gonna do this. Make life incredibly easier on my brain. I was going to do a Shadow Slave Aura tier list, but I was like, nah. Fuck that. Where the fuck is Bloodborne? Oh, there we go. Cleric. Where did I stop at with Bloodborne? I think it was... Yeah, it would have been these guys. It would have been anything past here. Everything else I've beaten? Yep. I'll be interested to add my 2 cents, especially considering I don't know jack shit or anything about the novels. Oh, but novels? That's fine. To be fair, I don't think I have another novel in here. I don't. I forgot to add Kill the Sun, which is on me. But I've had a couple of Monwa and a lot more signing, so it should be good. Who wasn't here last ranking? A lot of the regulars, actually. Joshua was about to blow your auto horse off then. Just worried about the ice cream. Is auto horse even on the stream right now? I don't think he is. No, he isn't. I'd be very confused then for a second. Shut. Give it everything I got. I feel DBZ is a bit glazed by Josh. No. I don't think Dragon Ball's glazed enough by people generally. What are you even talking about? I don't know you, bro. Here's the thing. It tells me... 1 minute. Let me, let me switch. No, he isn't. I can't see him on my finger at the very least. It says 10 people are watching, which, if you haven't done already, read the sign. Secondly, like, I just can't see him at all. Sig, Miguel, Tablet, Jack, Arlen, Failure Wagon, and Admiral. I thought Miguel was new. Yeah, Miguel's been here for a couple of days now. Anyway, I'm gonna eat a little bit more of this, and then, we'll proceed. What the fuck? Now I feel like I'm being gaslit. What the fuck is this? Tablet, Failure Wagon. Quibs, Arlen. Miguel, Jack, Tablet. Praise the Fool. I think y'all are gaslighting me. Anyway, we genuinely need a Joshua Kerr viewer tier list. No. When I get a nice, clean, average 50 viewers, I might do it. But for the time being, no. The chat is trying to deny my existence. Well, let's not be doing that. Anyway, couple more stories to be throwing on this fucking tier list. It's been organized by the Big Three, the Dark Three. Just pretty good shonen. Seinen, I know JoJo's isn't technically a seinen, but for the time being, we're just gonna say it is, alright? And try and move on from there. I don't know where to put you guys, I'm gonna be real. I should probably have a box for you guys, frankly. Y'all can stay like that. Anyway. Joshua doesn't need to rank us. Joshua doesn't want to rank us. So sad. Well, yeah. Wait, now he sees him? No, I've not seen Other Horse at all. Not once. Anyway, One Piece Part 1, pre-time skip One Piece, is really, really, really fucking good. Between Arlen Park and Alabasta and Marineford and Water 7 and Nico Robin's story, Sanji's initial backstory, everything to do with Nami. What's the difference between One Piece Part 1 and Part 2? Post-time skip, pre-time skip. But for... I would say I like part 1 only slightly less than I like part 1 of Naruto. But I would say I like part 2 slightly more than part 1 Naruto. All of One Piece is, like, incredibly consistent. In its world building, it's consistent. In its power scaling, it's consistent. In its power system, it is incredibly fucking well explored, shockingly. It's just one of those things in where I will always have nitpicks about every arc. Every arc I'm always gonna have a nitpick. Like, Oda's hilarious amount of sexism. Like, it's really hard to ignore. It's really hard to ignore. Even with characters like Nami and Vivi and Robin and fucking Yamato and the Kyoshi and all of the warriors and shit. It's just hard to ignore. There's also just a handful of shit villains and arcs that go on for way too long. Dressrosa goes on for far too fucking long. Skypiea goes on for far too long. I like Doflamingo though. I like Doflamingo. Eminem. I'm forgetting Enel. I like Enel. I think One Piece does its antagonist well. Kaido is the best antagonist in the series. Next to Kategori. The world is only getting bigger. The world building is only getting better. Like, we just, like, not that long ago, like a couple months ago, we just got done with Rox's backstory. And it's easily the best flashback arc we have ever been given. It's not super emotional or anything like that. It's not like Kuma's backstory and where it's made me cry several fucking times. But it's still really good. I would happily give One Piece Part 1 like an 8.5 and Part 2 8.8, 8.9, like creeping into that 9 out of 10 category. Depending on... It really does depend how the current arc ends. Because I didn't fuck with Egghead that much. I really didn't fuck with Egghead that much. We all know you'd be in the Nephilim tier, Quibs. Number 1 Guna, maybe. Oh yeah, massive issue with the entire series. How about Shadow Slave's skin color word ranking? The fact that it's gray? What? Oh, color. Oh, like alabaster, obsidian, jade. Yeah, no, fuck that. Joshua put me and Julius to. Y'all can think what you want to think for the time being. The time will come, but today is not that time. Anyway, Bleach is the best rating of the big three. Honestly, no. No, for a couple of reasons. And you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna throw it here. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna swap a couple of things around. Josh, do you prefer the female cast of One Piece or Naruto? Oh. One Piece. One Piece. I fucking love Robin and Nami. And Yamato. I think all three of them are fucking great. But yeah, Bleach is unarguably the best rating out of the big three. It doesn't have the best fights out of the big three. That is unarguably Naruto. It doesn't have the best world building. That is unarguably going to One Piece. But it's unarguably the most consistent out of the big three. Oh, shut up, you big bitch. Don't try me, bitch. Get the fuck out. Fucking my cat arguing with me. Because there's kittens next to him. Are you good at discovering any concerning things about your hair length recently? No. My hair length is... It's long. This is probably one of the longer times my hair has been uncut, but it's fine. Anyway. Bleach's cast. It's actually really, really fucking good. Bleach's cast is one of the stronger parts of its actual story. Even though I do think the Deuterogonus fucking sucks. But generally, its power system is really fucking good. The Quincy power system is actually incredibly interesting when you mix it all in with the primary antagonist of the 1,000-year Blood War, which is one of the best arcs of all time. The Iranka arc is the single most wank arc in manga history. It is. I don't want to hear it. I forgot that Attack on Titan. Oh, people would have fucking hated me. People would have hated my opinion on Attack on Titan. But that doesn't matter. The Iranka arc is the single most glazed arc I think I've ever encountered. That arc is riddled head to toe in shit that doesn't matter. Character development that doesn't need to exist at all because no one gives a fuck about these characters besides from Kubo. It goes on for far too long. And that's saying a lot because the arc right before it was the fucking Soul Society. But that, don't get me wrong, both arcs have the fucking peaks. Aizen as an antagonist, in fucking insane. Yuha as an antagonist, unfucking real. It is so fucking good. I have very minute complaints about everything about Bleach. And I still think it's better than the other two. Not by much, but it's like that. It's like there. If Naruto as a if I'm saying all of Naruto, I would say all of Naruto collectively is probably about the same as One Piece. I would say the pair of these are like 8.8s, 8.9. I would say Bleach is like a very comfortable 9.2. But I'm not. I'm separating them for a reason. Have you seen the female characters of One Piece? Yeah, and that's entirely an editor's fault. Did you watch the anime or the manga? Everything that's on this list, I have read the manga for. I can't sit through anime anymore. I don't know what it is, but it's a suffering. There's only a handful of anime recently that I've watched that I'm like, okay, I think I can carry on doing this. Hey, King Silver. So that's the big three done. Oh, you mean the Bleach baddies? Oh yeah, the Bleach baddies are unreal. The Bleach baddies are something else, let me tell you that. Alright, let's get into JJK. Let's get into the Dark Triad. Because I've got the Dark Trio all in about a similar ranking, honestly. What do y'all think about JJK and JJK Mandalo if you've read it? Soifun and Nell? What kind of women do you like, Josh? Honestly, I've been asking that question for 23 fucking years. That's why we're not discussing filler, because if that was the case, Naruto would fucking plummet and One Piece would go up higher. But I'm not. Because who the fuck gives a shit about filler? Also, there's no filler in the manga. JJK is, I guess. But generally, how would we classify Jujutsu Kaisen, Hell's Paradise, and Chainsaw Man? I will say, generally, I prefer alternative women. But I guess, overall, like, an artistic woman. If you go out your way to be creative in any shape, way, or form, I'm going to fuck with you more and more. Speaking of artistic, Jujutsu Kaisen. Where the fuck do I put you? Same with Chainsaw Man and Hell's Paradise, because all three of you are about the same in my mind, but not completely. All three of you are about the same in my mind, but not absolutely completely. JJK was really good, 8.5, 8.9. Mono was not as good, 8, an 8 to an 8.4. I like Chainsaw Man, but I haven't finished it. The ending is bad, people say. Honestly, Shadow Slave being below the big three of anime when you barely 1,000 chapters in is good. Who said... Was it my TikTok or YouTube comment? It might have been my TikTok comment section. Someone said, by the time you get caught up with Shadow Slave, it will probably be a 9 out of 10. And I had to kind of break it down to them. I kind of just went like, with how G3 writes, I highly doubt Shadow Slave will get past like an 8.7 in my brain. He just has a lot of inconsistencies in his writing style that I personally just don't fuck with when reading. For me to bolster it as high. Like, I'm sorry, a lot of the dialogue in Shadow Slave just sucks ass. A lot of it's cool, a lot of it sucks ass. So I doubt it'll be anywhere near a 9. Better than... I can see it being better than Jurassic Park. Like, I reckon it can be like an 8.7, 8.6. Hell's Paradise isn't talked about enough. Fucking correct. Correct. But I would say the original JJK, I'd probably say it's an 8.4. Like, it's just costing that 8.5. Modulo, I would say, is not much worse, but it is worse. And I think that's because Akutami just didn't give it enough time to breathe. Or, ironically. Yeah, some of the writing can be mid, but at times the world and concepts are just that strong for me. Yes, but for like, alright, this is why I'm actually ecstatic for the manga to come out. Because visual value can bolster so much, right? Like, Bleach is up here higher than Naruto and One Piece because its art is also just better. Like, Tite Kubo is just a better artist than both Oda and Kishimoto. If the world building is bad, I probably won't enjoy it. Does anything on this list have bad world building? I mean, bear in mind the romances, but they barely count. No, I think everything on this list, well, everything above this list is above a 7 for a reason, right? Like, generally the world building and all these are pretty good. Chainsaw Man Part 1 over JJK and JJK Monola, but Chainsaw Man Part 2. I've shoved all of Chainsaw Man together. I should probably have split it into Part 1 and Part 2, honestly. And that's on me. I low-key realized that ORV is, has mid-world building. I very much disagree. I think the world building in Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint perfectly encompasses what the story is trying to tell you. Which is, it's not all that much, but everything that it does this way, and the countless amount of stories that it explores via Kim Doja's point of view, and Han San-yeon's point of view, and Yu Hokja's point of view, I think it all just works. Bleach's art is amazing. Bleach's art, Tite Kubo is an artist. He is a fucking artist. But, like, imagine if it was just art-based, right? Because My Hero Academia would be, like, up there with him. Below Kubo, but he'd be up there. But no, unfortunately. Oh yeah, if you're comparing Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint to any other world building on this list, like One Piece, Bleach, Naruto, Shadow Slave, even Mad, Mistborn, Black Clover, like, yeah, it's comparatively mid, but you're not in one world enough to be like, oh yeah, it's more like the actual system itself is the technical world. Have you not read One Punch Man? I have read One Punch Man. It is objectively not for me. I don't think the writing is great. I don't think the action is all that interesting because half the characters are boring as fuck. I would, honest to God, I'd probably put it slightly above Dragon Ball Super. By the way, Josh, what's with the connection between ORV and where I had the connected all the time? If you haven't read it, I really don't want to spoil that. Because I don't think we're talking about the same thing. Mob Psycho? Oh, I could have put Mob Psycho in here. Mob Psycho's really fucking good. God damn it. It's a yeah! Cameo! Yeah, sure. Anyway, JJK, 8.4. JJK Mondolo, probably an 8.2. Jujutsu Kaisen has a fantastic power system with cursed energy and how cursed energy is manipulated and how it functions throughout the actual entire universe. I also like how cursed energy is actually the entire manufacturing system for how cursed spirits are born. That's sick. Cursed techniques, generally, 9 times out of 10, really fucking good. Gege Akutami, as an artist, as an action artist, holy fucking shit, is he good. Right? My only nitpick with Jurassic Park here is, are we talking about the movies, shows, or the comic? The novel. The full original novel of Jurassic Park. I said nothing important. Kim Docha makes an appearance in the Twaza multiple times. Miguel's the Agatha Christie. Hunter x Hunter. I've only read the first arc of Hunter x Hunter. I put it in my last tier list, which was Shadow Slave Strength. I think it was. This and stories that I'm anticipating. I put Hunter x Hunter in the I'm expecting high things, but I don't think it'll be for me. Because I really like... I forgot to put Yu Yu fucking Hakusho in there. How have I put Dragon Ball and Slam Dunk, but I forgot Yu Yu Hakusho? Yu Yu Hakusho would be right next to My Hero Academia, and it'd be in between My Hero Academia and Jurassic Park's novel. Right? It'd be an 8.2. Shadow Slave Loppers will be hilarious. Oh my god, the Shadow Slave lopping is gonna be fucking insufferable. How do we even lop Shadow Slave? Haikyuu, don't like it. I'm not ironically, not that big of a sports guy. A sports story fan. If you can't convey your themes correctly. Sunny has to be the best character in fiction. No cringe, all aura. Anyway, JJK. There's only a handful of things holding JJK back. I think the introduction to JJK is actually incredibly lackluster. Like, those first 3 to 4 arcs before the school... Before, like, school versus school. I think it's incredibly kind of boring, even though it is good build for Yuji's character. I do think Gege does kind of miss the mark a tiny bit when it comes to trying to make you understand the thematics of the characters. Hence why the fandom has came out so utterly fucking retarded as it is today. It's just... Gege is so good with mixing his story with Buddhism and Hinduism and the philosophy of trying to improve and where you want to be in a system. And that evolution comes across in JJK Mondolo, which is very much an immigrant story through and through. But I think he missed the mark in a handful of instances, especially in the last arc with, spoiler alert, every single fucker alive versus Sukuna. Though I do really, really, really like the Sukuna versus Yuji fight at the very, very end. I do think he did an incredibly good job at that. JJK Mondolo, though. I'm an adamant Gunlog Lopper, I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely love his character. I love the Gunlog, I think he's a great character. He said, wait, Tower of God is massively overrated, Tower of God would not touch this list. Everything that I've read of Tower of God, which is the first 150 chapters, I would, honest to God, give it like a 6.4 out of 10. Omniscient Reader's viewpoint power system is low-key better than Lords of the Mysteries. Quibs, don't fucking kill a man, please. Yu Yu Hakusho, I said it'd be between My Hero Academia and Jurassic Park. I'm really mad that I forgot about it. I completely forgot about Yu Yu Hakusho after you mentioned it. I hated the tournament arc for being so long. You hated the Dark Tournament? Brother, what? The Dark Tournament is the only tournament arc I've got in my head that beats the 23rd Tenkaichi tournament in Dragon Ball. That's insane! That's an insane take. I fuck with you. Yo, I fuck with you. That's an insane take. But yeah, back to Modulo. Modulo is very much a case of an immigrant story. Fuck conservatism. Conservatism actively kills countries. You want to look around the world right now? You should be able to make alliances. With no alliances, everything will burn. Even with Yuji's character coming into the forte of the older generation, being like, hey, look, I'm a part of the older generation now, and I've done fucking nothing. But now, seeing how the world needs to carry on within the next 300 to 400 years, if shit carries on the way it does, we will all die out. And I'm the strongest. Unarguably. There is nobody in the verse of Jujutsu Kaisen stronger than Yuji Itadori. There isn't, simply. There are 6 special grades throughout the entire story, and Yuji is unarguably the strongest of all of them. The tournament arc was so long. It was so worth it, though. What? But yeah, I just think it fell on its face in the last, 3 chapters. Not completely. I still think the entirety of Modulo does an incredibly good job at portraying its narrative. And portraying the thematic points in your face, being like, hey, don't fall for what the old people say. You are a newer generation. You need to help each other out at any which point. Don't listen to these selfish pricks that are trying to fuck your life over. Strive forward. Be happy. Explore. Do anything to fulfill your life. And I just don't think Modulo completely encompasses that. I do think it does that with Deborah. I do think it does that with Deborah. Hence why I fucking love Deborah as a character. I just think everything else was kind of lackluster. As someone who's read all 500 plus chapters of Tower of God, I absolutely agree. Some characters are too great to be in such a mid-story. Like White or Wagon, for example. Omniscient Reader's viewpoint is more individualized than the and it's arguably cooler at its peak. Oh, praise the fall. Just in case you don't realize, Quibbs is 15. He is an actual infant. He does have the mindset of a child. Don't go too hard on him. Because so far I'm agreeing, even though I don't really know the power system of Lord of the Mysteries. But it is more idealized and self-focused. Chainsaw Man. How the fuck do I talk about you? I think you're worse than Jujutsu Kaisen. I'd probably put you in 8.3. Same as Boruto and Shadow Slave. I love Denji. I love Denji so much. I love Maki. I love Power. I love Araki. I think the Gun Devil arc is like one of the few 10 out of 10 arcs in manga history. Part 2 is so fucking boring. I'm sorry, Part 2 is so fucking boring. Which is insane. Because after, the first 50 chapters of Part 2 coming out, it doesn't allow anything to breathe. Everybody's dying. Death Devil gets introduced. The 4 siblings of existence erasure gets introduced. The whole concept of Denji trying to live an actual fulfilling life that is normal is so fucking weird to me. And yet Part 1 is so good. Part 1 by itself is probably a clean 9 out of 10, but Part 2 is a fucking 7.5, maybe a 7.9. Lord of Mercenary's power system is low-key closer to Shadow Slave's and Omniscient Reader's viewpoint. Your pimple looks better when you're sunburnt. It's not. It's all rashes and shit. I was letting y'all go with the jokes, but it's not a pimple. Modulo was good at what it was trying to say. It just should have been longer and allowed for it to breathe. Exactly. Gege just didn't let it breathe at all. Also, stop arguing Lord of Mysteries and fucking Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint in chat, or I'll make them banned words. Oh, and at some point alongside viewer ranking, you should derail ranking. My derailments, like my tooth story, my eye story, and shit like that. Fun fact, Damn Ball Dread song, Going Out of My Mind, released the day I got to the Forgotten Shore arc for the first time. Listen to that and repeating the entire arc really set the mood. I don't think I've listened to Damn Ball in like a decade. That man has been making music for years. Thoughts on Vagabond? I only read the first 12 chapters. Not because it was boring or it was bad, I just forgot to carry on reading it. Hi Magikarp. You missed Quibs and Praise the Fool are arguing about Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint and Lord of the Mysteries, and I'm simply ignoring them because they're boring. Hell's Paradise, definitely an 8.5. I think Hell's Paradise gives its story enough time to breathe, gets its characters enough development. Its power system is really cool, and I think it's the only time I've ever seen Hinduism's, like, multiple facets of life actually affects the story when it comes to relationships with other people, understanding the sexuality of yourself alongside elements and shit. I think it does everything really great. I just don't think it does anything spectacular. I think the arc's great. I think the fights are fantastic. I think all the characters and the antagonists, God, the antagonists are really fucking good in Hell's Paradise. I don't think anything is spectacular. And that's kind of just my main issue with it. So, while I prefer it over the Dark Triad, I don't think it's comparable to the Big Three. Dun. I love Asa and Yoru. The barely main characters in the fucking Part 2 story. Denji is the main character after like 70 chapters. I mix on everything. Yeah, just a mix and everything, pretty much. Dun. Where should I put you? Fuck. What do y'all think of Dan? If you've only watched the anime, if you've only read a handful of the manga, just tell me what you think. I'm really interested. Also, we've been streaming for almost an hour. What the fuck? Quibs, if it's not a novel, it's alright to you. It's interesting. It certainly is interesting. The manga's peak until recent chapters, pretty average, 7.9 to 7.5, solid 9. I'm so conflicted on it, because these recent chapters have been actual dog shit. But fuck is it hard to argue it's not great. It's really hard to argue it's not fantastic. As an anime, it's a 7 out of 10. As an anime, really? Well, these stories are never going to reach Lord of the Mysteries or Reverend Insanity levels. I mean, I've heard a fair bit about Reverend Insanity. It doesn't sound that, like, incredibly unique, but I'll wait in my judgment on that one, because I am actually excited to read that. Lord of the Mysteries, I still think I'm not going to be entirely high on it. Not as high as everybody else at the very least. But yeah, Dandanron's great. I think Dandanon explores sexuality, growing up, the ability of diversification, the aspect of families and friendships, the whole circle of Dandanon being the actual fucking power system is insanity. Using philosophical stories and childhood stories into your power system, I think is really, really, really fucking cool. And I think everything that it does spectacularly. Like, the artist is a fucking goat. Like, the artist is so fucking good at her job, dude. Mamao's such a great character. I love Mamao. I love her weird little interception with her relationship with Okarun. I love Okarun and the idea of growing up and feeling a little bit dismasculated, which was like a big praise that I had for my dress-up darling. Right? But I hate Gigi. I hate Arya. But I like the fucking glasses guy. I like what's her name? Baumo. Baumo's one of the best arcs in the series. The colossal fights have been so fucking cool. It's recent chapters, man. They've been so fucking shit. I'm sorry, Amnesia arcs are never gonna be good. The only time an Amnesia arc was kind of interesting was in Hell's Paradise, and guess what? It was only a little bit of Amnesia, just to help develop the power system a little bit further. Other than that, mind-wiping stories, always gonna be shit. Always gonna be shit. It's always gonna be bad. And until they fix that, stop this weird bullshit between Mamao and Gigi and Okarun and Arya, it's popping off on the Amnesia arc. Damn, it's shit. The best part about the Amnesia arc is finding out about fucking Okarun and Pinocchio, and him developing a fucking lightsaber. That is the best part of the arc. Cause Mamao's not interested. Well, she is instinctually, but she doesn't really give a shit. Gigi is being the biggest fucking prick in the world. ISA's been a bitch since the introduction. Oh my god. Have you read Ascendant of a Bookworm? No. Or Your Lie in April? I've watched Your Lie in April. I think it's really, really fucking good. I couldn't put everything that I've read on this fucking list. I couldn't have. Because there's too goddamn many. Either way, it's good. It's where did I put it? Yeah, I'd say right now it is an 8.7. Joshua hates mind-wiping arcs. Cause all of them are done terribly. It's all the same shit. It's every mind-wiping arc I can think off the top of my head has been done terribly. $51.49 is technically Amnesia. That's more like actually being a different part of the fabric of the universe. That is Docha being like, I am conflicted on the essence of how the world is currently. Currently, I am conflicted. Hence why 51.49 exists. There's a reason why the Momo has only just taken a break. Like, season 1 only just stopped at 49% of the story. Because we're done with Docha being the outside protagonist. Have you ever watched ReZero, Joshua? I watched season 1 when it came out fucking years ago. but I never gave a shit to carry it on. Reverend Insanity is all being as edgy as possible and pseudo-intellectualism. That's what I've been told by a lot of people. I've been told it's a lot of pseudo-intellectualism, which I'm not the most excited for, but if it's done well, I think it can be interesting, especially in the asset of discovering, discussing, and letting your philosophy evolve with you. And if it does that, I think I'm going to be generally on the upper end for it. Kagurabachi. Kagurabachi is really good, but it's like an 8 out of 10. Ever since I started collecting the actual manga of Kagurabachi, I think it's been nothing but great. I've only read the first 2 arcs, so I can't really discuss what's going on in the third one right now. I can't discuss everything that's happened in part 1 of Kagurabachi. I can't do it. I'm sorry, I'm not fully caught up yet. So I'm only going to be discussing the first 2 arcs. And the first 2 arcs are gas, brother! The gas! The fuck you mean philosophy doesn't evolve? It stays the same the entire story. That's ass. Could Shadow Slave be divided into parts, you know what, pre of what you know? Where I'm at, no. I don't think you can really you can separate Shadow Slave into different arcs and, like, different volumes and shit, but you can't separate the actual complete narrative so far. That's one of the points of his philosophy. Cultivation is more Pokemon than cultivation. It's just Shadow Slave and Pokemon. Yeah, but Reverend Sandy is cultivation, right? How is Joshua gonna put up with that? Anyway. Kagurabachi's best asset is its art. It is, I would say it's up there with Dragon Ball, with how cohesive its art style and fight scenes are. And that is heavy glaze coming from me. That is insane levels of glaze coming from me. And that's entirely because no other manga or series has ever had fight scenes like Dragon Ball. I don't think there's been another artist on this planet that has made fight scenes as cohesive and as understandable as Akira Toriyama. And to be fair, I don't think anybody's really going to peak that. But the first arc is really fucking cool when we're discussing more about sorcery, figuring out why the blades are actually so important, and what Chihiro's whole philosophy on the blades currently are, about him being a samurai and him being a swordsmith. I think, generally, Chihiro is a good, dare I say, great protagonist for a story like Kagurabachi. I think Cloud Gouger in the first arc is so fucking cool. So fucking cool. And I'm sorry, you're never, ever gonna tell me you are going to rebuild your sword by telling it to is not gonna be the hardest fucking thing on earth. His blade, which is a special sorcery-esque blade that can nuke a fucking a continent off the face of the earth, right? Nuke a fucking country off the face of the earth. It is semi-sentient. It shatters, because the whole point of swords breaking in this universe is of a person fighting other people's ideologies and philosophies, right? It's very similar to Bleach in that essence, right? Your sword breaks, but your will demands you to stay up, so you grab the handle of your sword and say, get the fuck up. We've got one more mission. And it does? And it does? Brother, it's so cold. Brother, it's so fucking cold. To be honest, Akira never really made a large-scale fight. Akira Toriyama? Are you fucking mental? Are you high? Like, what are you on? Ever since King Piccolo's introduction in the end of OG Dragon Ball, every end fight of an arc has been high scale. Every single fight in Dragon Ball's last arcs has been high scale like crazy. Found Joshua's Lord of Mystery, it seems. Oh yeah, no, you'll find me Glazed Dragon Ball to the end of the fucking earth. Anyway. Haruki is a great, weird little deuteragonist, for Chihiro, and knowing how all of the, Sezanami family district all kind of cooperated with one another, and how the district were keeping swords and shit. Fucking, the leaders are all quite interesting. Kazan looks dope. I know he's a bitch. I know he's a fraud. I've been told. But, like, again, he's really, really fucking cool. Hiyuku, the Bone Blade? Fuck off. Yeah, no. Honestly, I'm going there. I've got it about the same as Shadow Slave. 8.3, 8.4 in my head. Quantity of people. Oh. No, why would it need to? A lot of Dragon Ball is literally you versus me. I think the highest scale battle that we ever get in Dragon Ball is the Tournament of Power, which is literally a whole omniversal event of the story. And Akira Toriyama wasn't drawing that one. Anyway. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. How do we talk about marriage toxin? Because I still think, even with people watching the anime and have read all, like, 150 plus chapters of its manga currently, people still think it's not a gay. People still think it's not a Yuri. A Yuri Yaoi. And that's really funny. Honestly, I don't know if Joshua will like Lord of the Mysteries. I'm not sure if he's a philosophy world-building lover or something. I literally have One Piece as an 8.9 to a 9. What? Fucking, huh? Oh my god, fuck off. I have Bleach as like a 9.3. And every fight in Bleach is about one's philosophy versus another. Lord of the Mysteries is a fairy merchant. Ugh. With how many fairies he pulls out for Shadow Slave, I think it's gonna be fine. Oh, for Lord of the Mysteries, I feel like it's gonna drive me up the goddamn wall. Anyway, marriage toxin. The fact that a lot of people don't know it's a fucking Yuri, hilarious, first of all. So it's already gaining, like, 0.2 in points for that one for me. But bear in mind that power system is sick. Are you kidding me? Like, everything about marriage toxin relates back to the greater families and the descendants which all branch off, right? And the whole premise of this story being our main character has to find a wife to carry on the toxin family. And yet he falls in love with a cross-dressing woman, man. I don't know how to address Mai. I don't know if Mai's actually, like, trans in the story. I don't know if it's just cross-dressing for the shits and gigs. I know it's not for the shits and gigs of it. They're a sex worker. But, like, still. It's great. And then there's obviously all of the love interest of Hayaku, like Kyo and Shinichi, Shitiku. I should probably learn her first name, because I think I'm trying to pronounce her last name. Usha. Joshua might hate the TOA arc in Shadow Slave. He might even hate the entire arc. Oh. Ugh. Oh, no. You've said too much. You've said too much. I know what's gonna happen now. Anyway, marriage toxin. Fight scenes are great. Love interests are really fucking cool. The world building is actually incredible. It's actually, like, massively underrated. The romance is really fucking good. I've got these three at the same fucking rank, and I don't know what I'm on about. I'd put it above Modular, but below Kagurabachi, Boruto, and Shadow Slave. I don't think he'll hate it. I guess he would just figure it out 2 seconds flat. I don't know what TOA means, but since you said I'm probably gonna hate it or hate the entire arc, I have a pretty fucking good guess on what's gonna happen. I have a pretty good guess what's gonna happen. Anyway, Marriage Toxin, I'd give it an 8.2. 8.2. I think it's incredible. Kaiju. Who's read or watched Kaiju number 8? Who's read Kaiju number 8? Anybody? Anybody at all? What have you got it? Is it a watch or is it a read? I started Kaiju number 8, but I never finished it. Brother, you might as well finish it. It's not long. It's not long by any means. Cause I'm gonna be so unironically deadass with you guys. I really fucked with Kaiju number 8, right? One of my more popular videos before I privated it was a video discussing Kaiju number 8 and where I think the story was going to go. And I got it bing bang bosh fucking perfectly, except for every other half of the video. Because it ends out of fucking nowhere. It ends out of fucking nowhere. Look, I love Kafka. I think having an adult as a main protagonist is good. Having Mina as a semi-deuterogonist with Reno is good. Kiro and her family issues is great. Soshiro is honestly one of the better mentor-teacher figures out there, right? He doesn't do all that much, but he doesn't need to do that much, because Kafka, again, he's like a 33-year-old man, right? Like, he is old enough to understand what the fuck this world is trying to get him to do. I'm just saying, if this story went on for like another 100 chapters to really flesh out the world of Kaiju number 8, it could probably get to like an 8. But that ending is dog shit. I'm sorry. It's so fucking bad. The ending is terrible. The ending is I've got it below Horimiya. And if you was in the last stream, I was dogging on Horimiya for fucking ages. I've got a clip ready, dogging on Horimiya. I've read Shadow Slave and Lord of the Mysteries, and that's about it. I'm just here for the vibes. Fair enough. Same, I'm more of a manhwa guy. The Kenzak's arc of Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint is peak. Yeah. I think the Golden Headband arc is massively underrated. I know people like the Golden Headband, like, generally. I think the actual arc encompassing it is great. I think the last portion of the story, even though depending on how you look at it, and depending on whether or not you actually include the side stories, can either be bleak as fuck, or incredibly wholesome. I'd prefer to view it as incredibly wholesome, knowing that the side story exists, and knowing that is an alternative reality to things. And whoever asked that question before, I'm so sorry. I have read the side story, not all the way through. I've only read the first 20 chapters of it when it initially came out back in, like, what, 2021? Some shit like that. Tells your fairy on the TOA arc. I don't know what TOA means, but if what I said about Amnesia before, about me fucking despising Amnesia arcs, is a thing, and we're going to get either a Sunny Amnesia arc, a Nephis Amnesia arc, or a Cassie Amnesia arc. Any of those three. Well, Cassie, I don't think you can logistically do that. But, like, Sunny or Nephis, I feel like you're going to just piss me off. Unless there is an intrinsic... Never mind. Never mind, never mind, never mind. It's one of two things. It's one of two things now that I've said that out loud. Oh, I don't know if I fuck with that. It's either everybody's gonna forget Sunny and he reaches true freedom, or Sunny forgets about everybody and still reaches a true freedom. But he's gonna have to redevelop himself. I don't think I'm gonna fuck with either one of those answers. You know what? How about I do this? Nah. How about I do this? I'm just gonna ignore chat for the next 10 minutes. I don't want you talking shit about this. I can't be asked. Oh, because if any one of you fucking cunts prove that right, I'm gonna be so goddamn mad. I'll be so mad. Anyway, what was I on about? Marriage toxin. Marriage toxin is great. Oh, never mind, I'm gonna be happy again. Hajimina Weepo. Yay! Never mind, I'm gonna be excited again. Hajimina Weepo's fan-fucking-tastic, and if anybody talks shit about it, they're absolutely worth criticizing. Hajimino Weepo. Hajime no Ippo is one of the single best character stories, I think, in all of existence. Right? Because every single character, and I mean it, every single character in Hajime no Ippo has development. And has a lot of it. Don't forget, people, it's longer than One Piece. It's longer than every single Dragon Ball arc combined. It's longer than all of Naruto and Boruto combined, even if you split Boruto from a monthly to a weekly manga. It is long as shit. And yet it has some of the best fights ever. Oh my god, Takamura. I love that sexist prick of a man. Takamura is such a fucking prick. And every fight he's in, he is the fucking dog. I love Takamura and Ippo's relationship when it comes to understanding what it means to be a fucking fighter. Understanding that it takes not only dedication and absolute devotement to the story or to training, but if you want to be the best of the best in the verse, you need to be a legitimate psychopath in the ring. You need to bear your weight, and you need to make sure you're trying to kill cunts. But you also need to make sure to not lose yourself, or you'll let your ego take over, which is where a lot of Takamura's fights end up coming in comparison to Ippo. Oh, it's so good, but god damn it, this story is so written by a 60-year-old man stuck in 80s Japan. Because the comedy is dog shit. Oh, the comedy is so fucking bad. It's like Fullmetal Alchemist, which I forgot to add onto the list. My apologies. But, like, Fullmetal Alchemist's comedy is dog shit, right? But I'd throw it up there with Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint in Dragon Ball Z. Spoiler alert when that gets added onto the next story-esque stream. But, like, that's a 9.5. I feel like clear and simple. Because of everything it does. Hajime no Ippo is very much the same. But worse, because it's gone on longer. The sexism is ruthless. And there's just a handful of fights that just aren't worth it. Like, I'm sorry, I love Tatsuyu. His fights aren't worth actually watching. Manuba, he's fine. He's a fine little protege for Ippo. He's not gonna do shit. He isn't gonna do shit. He's never gonna do shit. But that's fine. Oh, also the flashbacks. Very rarely get a flashback on Hajime no Ippo, but fucking Konomawa's back flashback to him being a 5'6" rookie, not a 5'6" rookie, a 5'6" veteran in a ring with no professional rules, going up against America's 6-foot Titan and winning, but breaking his arms and everything. Dog, Ippo is goated. Ippo is so fucking good. I'm putting it above Naruto. I love Ippo so goddamn much. Okay, now that I'm done with Ippo, because I knew that was going to be a long rant, chat can come back. From both ends. And hopefully, we will not mention any more Amnesia Rocks ever again. Because if I see it, I'm gonna be angry. Anyway, Berserk. I've only read the first 3 arcs of Berserk. I'm sorry. I've only read the Fairy Forest, the Golden Age, and the pre-Golden Age arc. What the fuck's that one called? What the fuck is that? Whatever. Pre-Golden Age. Right? Like, after the Eclipse, post-Eclipse, Golden Age, Fairy Forest. And yet, everything it does... It's so good. It's so good. It's so traumatic. It's Miura, right? Miura is one of the single greatest artists, I think, to have ever touched on pen and paper. Black Swordsman arc, thank you very much. Thank you, Arlen. But it was unrelated. Don't take my words for granted. And Aragon, my fanfiction chapter 4 was up in 10 minutes. Fair enough, Admiral. But I really don't have any complaints about it. I'm really trying to sit here and, like, nitpick a lot of Berserk. Everything that I've read of Berserk, I really don't have any. I think Griffith is a fantastic antagonist. I think Guts is a perfectly cynical man in this world who found his hope and got it completely ripped off of him. I think it's one of those things in where... so what stopped you reading from any further? I was just upset. I was just upset. I got through the Golden Age arc. I got through the Eclipse. I was like, wow, that fucked me up. Wow, that was tragic. Wow. How could you do this to me? And then I read through the Fairy Forest, and I was too angry to really digest everything Miura was trying to tell me in his thematics of the Fairy Forest when it comes to trusted guardianship, letting fairy tales allow the childlike wonder escape from you and letting that childlike wonder consume you. I was just too angry to really be at anywhere. So I dropped it, and I shit you not, a week later, Miura died. And I felt kind of uncomfortable to pick it up again. But fuck, it is hard to argue that those first 3 arcs are not perfect. Well, okay, maybe the Fairy Forest isn't that great. But, like, it is really fucking hard to not argue that the first 3 arcs of Berserk is not a fucking flat 9.5. Dude can die so many times. Are we still talking about an omniscient reader's viewpoint? Or... Speaking of Amnesia Rocks, by the way. Casca. I love you so much. You didn't deserve a single thing that you went through when going through any of the shit that Griffith made you go through. Griffith, the literal embodiment of selfishness. How dare you hurt me as much as you did. Seriously, if you don't like reading manga, but you like reading Peak, go read Berserk. I actually don't have a flaw with the first 3 arcs. It just made me too emotional. Yeah, I know you're talking about Berserk. The Golden Age arc in particular is unspeakably good. It's one of those things in where it's hard to... You actually need to write down a couple of essays for the Golden Age arc for you to articulate how unfathomably good it is. But yeah, it's unreal. Oh, hey, look! Another story that's unfathomably good. Vinland Saga. Oh, hey, look! Another story that's unfathomably good. Monster! I'd realistically have it like this, though. I should probably have it like this. Because I haven't finished Berserk, but I've finished Vinland Saga and Monster. Right? Not to say Berserk is bad. Technically, it has the single best arc I have ever read, ever. Right? It is just lower than the others on the premise that I have not caught up. And I don't think I'll ever have a chance to catch up. That's because the movies were something, but certainly not all the adaptations of the book. Oh. Am I insane? Where is Other Horse? I feel like I'm going insane with you saying this. Better than ORV's ending. ORV's ending is entirely dependent on how you see the side story actually being compared to the original. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. I'm so dumb. I'm so sorry. No. Hold on. I'm so sorry. Oh my god, I was threw up. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. Oh my god, I've been reading your name as Admiral this entire time and nothing else. The second half of your name has not been a thing in my brain. I've just never processed it. So anytime anybody says Other Horse, I don't think it's you. Oh my days, I'm so sorry, lad. Oh my good days, that is the funniest shit ever. I'm so sorry. Oh my days. Sorry for saying you don't exist. I'm just retarded. Holy fuck. I'm still gonna call you Admiral. But still, fucking hell. That's so funny. I am two people. Yeah, apparently. 5149, apparently. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's so funny. He laughs like a motorcycle which has problems. That is true. That's not the first time someone's ever said that to me, and I wish I was lying. Anyway, Vinland Saga. As a completed story, it's great. The first two arcs, dare I say, are perfect. The Farmland Saga, I know for a fact Quipt would rather blow his brains out than read it because it's so boring. Which is when you know it's actually incredible, right? The actual leading war, pre-adult Thorfinn, is so cool. Askeladd is one of the best mentors of all fucking time, especially when it comes to the Heritage arc. The Heritage arc is so great, and then the Vinland Saga arc is so upsetting. It's so upsetting. It was a while since I cried like that. The ending of Vinland Saga did legitimately make me cry like a bitch. I like slow things. Don't fucking lie. Motherfucker, I enjoyed the beginning of Lord of the Mysteries. Yeah, because you're a sadist. But yeah. I have problems with the war arc, generally, right? I have a couple of problems with the Vinland arc, right? I think the Vinland arc went on a little bit too long, and yet it was also too fast at the same time. It was a case of, like, the first half of it goes on for far too long, and the second half of it is just whiplash, right? It's just one of those things in where it just doesn't mix and match quite well. And yet, everything in between of it is utterly devastating and heartbreaking to see flush out. Even with Thorfinn getting a fucking wife and an adoptive baby, and a baby in the future, and the development of what we now know to be Canada into the United States. It's incredible. It's so fucking good. I'm just upset. Same thing with Berserker. Just makes me upset. But I don't think it deserves any less than a 9.6 out of 10. In my school, when Vinland Saga first came out, it dropped it for a year straight. Then switched from hell yeah, killing to so much wheat. And then I continued it, and then I was angry at myself. So, fully agree on that. Yeah, the Farmland Saga. The Farmland Saga is the definition of whiplash. Yeah, crying like a baby, so much of it. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god, when she forgave Thorfinn. Oh, I'm forgetting her name. I feel like a fucking terrible fan. Ula? Ula, is that her name? Asgard, King Canute, one of the best fucking, weirdly, what a great deuteragonist of a story, by the way. King Canute is so good. Forkel is really, really fun. I think he's actually a really incredible antagonist for the story. I feel so stupid. What the fuck is her name? I don't have any impression of you other than you hate Nephilims. Don't do this to me, ma'am. Why can I not remember her fucking name? This is infuriating. Oh, and Siegfried! Ah! Josh, why the fuck do you think I hate slow arcs? Because every story that I've mentioned that has several slow arcs, you mither and go, oh, it's mid. It's boring. It's aight. Like I was talking about Harsh in the comments of my last video before. I sit through these streams for hours on end. Yeah, that's true, but we're fun. You like hanging out with us. Is it Hild? Hild! Hild's fucking, like, acceptance of Thorfinn, when I first read that, as a monthly reader, by the way, since the fucking War Arc, and they get to Vinland, and she's like, I forgive you, Thorfinn, and he just buckles down and cries. Oh! Oh! And then Garud goes over and hugs him. Oh my god, it's so... Vinland Saga is so good. Vinland Saga is so fucking good. I'm so mad I can't make myself put it as a 10 out of 10. Because it does have obvious flaws. Oh. We know you have a good attention span. That's not what we're arguing. Yes, I do mean Hild. But yeah. And then there's Monster, which is... terrifying. I think Monster is one of the single most effective psychological horrors to have ever been made. I think Yosuke is... How do you describe Yosef? How do you unironically explain him? I called him Josef. Johann. It's German. Most of these names are German. A story with flaws can still be a 10 out of 10 if it makes you feel that much. Yes, but I cannot ignore those flaws. I'm very much a person that has to allow flaws into the stories when I'm ranking them, or else I will find no actual peace in myself when ranking it professionally. Because I have personal rankings. I have things where I'm like, I enjoy stories more than others, right? Like, I enjoy One Piece's story more than Bleach's, but I think Bleach is a objectively better written story. I like Dragon Ball more than I like Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint when it comes to pure entertainment, but I think Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint is a fucking full circle narrative that wraps itself up in a nice little bow. Like, it's always going to be, like, one of those kind of things. Like, you can have objectives, and then they can just be side things. But, yeah, oh, God, I don't know how to explain Monster. Because Kenzo is so sad, and Johan is the worst, and the conclusion and the philosophy of murder and human life and the privileges of reading, it's hard to not gasp at. Especially with Johan and the twin monsters in the intro of the story. The ingrained sense of justice that goes beyond even personal belief. Yeah. Oh, and then finding out that Johan is made by Kenzo because of the fucking surgery. Ugh! That he chose to do over the fucking Prime Minister. Monster has a trolley problem, right? It has a couple of trolley problems. But I feel like it always picks, like, 9 times out of 10, it usually picks the correct path. But that's, it has trolley problems because Johan's a fucking monster. Like, the point of the story is to depict Johan as a being. It's the same thing with Shadow Slave and Lord of the Mysteries for me. I know Lord of the Mysteries is better written, but Shadow Slave is way more enjoyable to read, personally. Yeah, I feel like that's what it's going to be like for me when I inevitably get caught up with Lord of the Mysteries. In where I'll read it, I'll probably be like, yeah, it's like a 9 out of 10. Like, on every logistical level. Is it fun to read for the majority of it? No. Is it I feel like it's going to be very low in my actual enjoyment, like, list. But in this kind of format, in where it's all, like, critiquing everything and being, like, semi-objective in my brain, with my own personal biases and how I think stories should be fleshed out, I think it'll be fairly high up there. Oh my god, Maul, I don't give a fuck about your brother. But yeah, Monster, once again, I think is a nice and clean 9.6, 9.7. I think the ending is perfect. I think the introduction is great. I think almost every single action Johan takes is just fucking diabolical and despicable and unworthy of looking back at. Hi, Alma. Seika's called them... Seika's called the solo leveling Therium. What, where the story's bad, but it's fun to read? If that's the case, then that'd be like Kaiji number 8. Speaking of the trolley problem, your sense of justice. Do you know which ultimate... do you know the whole ultimatum failure with the 3 boats? What? The 3 boats? What the fuck does that mean? 3 boat trolley problem. The boat trolley problem usually refers to the famous trolley-style moral dilemma from the film The Dark Knight. The Joker... Oh, no, I don't care about that. I'm talking about the 3 boats. Unless it's from Monster, and where I'm probably just massively forgetting. It has been like 5 years since I've read it. I've not even got the manga for it. Anyway, now for my personal favorite. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now, I couldn't make every single part here a thing. So I split every single part of JoJo into majority groups. We've got the Hamon group of part 1 and part 2. We have the introduction of stands and the stand ideologies within... do you know the ship of Theseus? What, you mean the ship and where you replace every single piece of wood on the ship, is it still the same ship? Or what the free boat you're talking about. I don't know about the free boats, but I do know about the ship of Theseus. Oh, and part 7 is obviously the new universe, the spin, all of that, right? Oh, no. I'm gonna have to put part 1 and part 2 very low, aren't I? Fuck. Because I unironically have part 1 of JoJo's as like a 6 out of 10. Right? Like, part 1 of JoJo's is pretty... I think it's one of those times where I can be objective in saying it's not good. I don't think part 1 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is that good. I don't think Joseph is a great protagonist. I do think Dio's a really good antagonist. I think Hamon is a very interesting power system, but part 2 escalates fucking everything. It's got better antagonists within the Pillarman. It's got better abilities and usage of Hamon when it comes to Joseph being one of the, if not the single best Hamon user to have ever existed. And then there's, like, obviously the bubbles and shit. Part 2 is part 1 better in every way, right? The comedy is better, the action is better, the characters are better, the training is better, the ending is better. Everything about part 2 is better than part 1. Right? But I bulked them together, because part 1 wouldn't go on the list. Part 1 I don't think is good. Part 2 I've got like a fucking 9 out of 10. I love part 2. So I think I should just reach in the middle and say it's like a 7 all, because it looks so wrong being next to fucking Mistborn. Next to Mistborn and Fairy Tail and Black Clover. No, it's better than all these. It's better than... Do I have it better than JJK? Honestly, Joshua, I really think you'll enjoy Lord of the Mysteries, but the beginning is great if you reread, but the points in, but it paints the series in a bad light. Don't, not even 14 chapters in. Amen. Joseph. Yeah, you know what, fuck it. I'll say it's an 8. I'd say it's an 8.5. Like, better than Boruto Part 2 so far, and better than Hell's Paradise. I think because of how bad Part 1 is, it goes below My Hero Academia. No, it goes like this. The free boat problem has 500 people. Boat A has 500 people. Boat B has 300 people. Boat C has 300 people in it. On them. You can only save 2 of them due to the limited placement part or whatever. But let me guess. One boat has women and children. One boat has 300 kids. One boat has 300 women. But boat A has like 500 men. Or it's like a mixed tally of both. If I had to take a guess. Part 3, 4, 5, and 6. By doing this for 2 rounds, you end up killing 600 people to save 500. The Cosmere's peak? It might be peak, but Mistborn isn't. Mistborn's good. Mistborn's pretty good. I have a lot of issues with it. But generally, I don't know. Because it's the only Brandon Sanderson books that I've ever read. Anyway, part 3 is great. I like Westerners. I think Westerners are fun and interesting and really fun to fuck with. I do think part 3 goes on forever, though. Like, Araki was really having fun with part 3 stands for the vast majority of it. And really exploring how far stands can go. So the start of part 3 is great. The beginning of part 3 is great. Wow. The beginning and end of part 3 is great. And the middle portion of part 3 is not the best, but still really fun. Part 4 is a slice of life in where the vast majority of it is comedy orientated. And Yosuke is a great protagonist. Great protagonist. He also has a great stand. I think Kara is arguably the single best JoJo's antagonist next to Funny Valentine. A large portion of it just isn't for people, though. I like slice of life. I like slice of life mixed in with action. I think it's pretty good. Part 5 is where I have my issues, because I think Part 5 is where Araki kind of loses the plot on his, like, narrative 9 times out of 10. Okay, maybe not 9 times out of 10, but like 3 times out of 10, Araki slips on Part 5 with the Italian mob and Giorno and being related to both, I guess, Joseph and Dio. Then there's obviously the introduction and finalization of seeing what stand arrows can do to other well, I guess Kara technically did that in Part 4, but like we get to see it more exasperated in Part 5. Like it has a lot heavier of an emphasis on the narrative in comparison to Killer Queen, who just gets really fucking busted. But I'm not the biggest fan of Part 5. No, because the action is so scruffy. I compare the beginning of Part 5, I compare Part 5's action to, honestly, probably Dragon Ball Super's, like, Battle of Gods and Golden Frieza Rock anime. Not the movie, it's the actual anime. It's scruffy, it's not that well put together until, like, the later half of the arcs. I will say it has some of the more interesting stands. Definitely. Giorno is a pretty fun protagonist to see flesh out. I just don't think it hit the nail on the head as much as everybody else claims it to do. It's good. It's a really good arc. I just don't have it as high as everybody else. And Part 6, JoJolion, is the single most underappreciated arc in all of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And I think everything that JoJolion kind of does is pretty good. I feel like Jotaro Kujo wasn't completely out of character for the vast majority of the arc, and I feel like his actions of distancing himself from Jolene was quite good. I think Pucci, being both a man of the Catholic priest and black and gay, is all kinds of like it goes all over the place in the symbolism of this fucking arc, which is so gay orientated. A lot of JoJo's is gay orientated. It's been gay since the 80s. But I feel like Part 6 hit the nail on the head more times than Part 5 ever did. Like, whatever he was trying to do with Part 5, Part 6, he nailed it in. I really like the ending of Part 6 and where it inevitably goes into Part 7, which might even allude to Part 10 being a JoJolion arc again. And that's fucking dope. How can I fucking rank it though? Because god damn it, Part 3 and Part 5 really do bring it down quite a bit. Not enough to be lower than Part 1 and Part 2. I'll do this. I'd think Part 3 to Part 6 is about as good as Naruto and One Piece. Honestly, I think Joshua will get hooked by Volume 1 Lord of Mysteries ending, but there's a chance he doesn't. Never quite could wrap my head around that, since we don't know how the future will end up. Obviously making bad choices, acting like it's good as possible. Jolene is definitely my favorite MC in JoJo's. Jolene's up there. Jolene and Josuke are my 2 favorite protagonists in the JoJo story so far. I also like Jolene's girlfriend. I think Jolene's girlfriend is actually quite interesting for the most part. Then there's obviously Part 7 through Part 9. I actually can't talk entirely on Part 9 since I've only read the first 5 chapters when it came out. But Part 7 is insane. I feel like Part 7 is the perfect culmination of Part 2 and Part 3. The spin mechanic and the golden rotation is fucking gnarly as hell. Tusk is one of the best stands ever made. Tusk Act 4 is a fucking great stand. The usage of spin and how creative spin can actually get in the series is really, really, really fucking cool. The introduction of Faith and Jesus Christ, I feel like was actually perfectly utilized here in comparison to Part 6, and where I've got a little bit of an issue with it. My only real issue with Part 7 is what they did to Dio, in turning him into a sexual predator and possibly a pedophile. well, it's definitely not possible. He tried to fuck a 14-year-old. But, like, that's multiversal nonsense, and that's not RDO, but it is now RDO because he's in the same universe, technically, kind of, not really. It's kind of weird. It's strange. It's very fucking strange. Bear in mind the ending. Bear in mind the ending, though. I think Zalepi is great. I think 90% the antagonist we get the fight is great. I think the evolution of Stans is one of the natural evolution of Stans is one of the coolest aspects this series ever gets to introduce. And frankly, I think it's perfectly rated. Because everyone's got part 7 as like the single best JoJo's part, and I'd probably do the same thing. I think I'd say it's like the best arc in JoJo's. Part 8 is where Araki kind of snorts crack. And Frank, I fuck with it. Like, heavily. I heavily fuck with the idea of Araki just doing all sorts of drugs when he was making Part 8. Because what do you mean stands are fusing? What do you mean Rockman and the Rock Fruit help people fuse together with Soft and Wet? And then there's the creation of Soft and Wet Go Beyond being like a temporal fucking mess. And then obviously there's the family drama and then the slice of life that kind of comes in with it. Dio is a predator in JoJo's Part 7. It's not RDO. RDO is a, horse-riding velociraptor transforming man, and he's kind of cool. But because of the ending and what happens with, Tusk Act 4 and the multiversal nonsense and trying to keep himself alive and shit happens with Dio, and it's not RDO. He just becomes a predator. He's really dangerous and scary. He has, the world, like original universe Dio. It's strange. It's strange. It's really, really fucking strange, and I think it's a massive flop on Araki's half. Part 8 is... My thing is with Part 8, it's that it's the longest part in JoJo's, and you feel that. I feel like all 6 parts of Part 8, all like 6 major arcs of Part 8, you feel every fucking chapter of. Until Wonder of You gets introduced in where, unfortunately, his carrier is just a dogshit antagonist. Like, don't get me wrong, having a doctor as an antagonist is actually quite cool. He's just not utilized. I will say, seeing Wonder of You being a literal worldly universe stand, dope as fuck. There's a reason why every edit of Wonder of You is one of the coolest edits you'll ever fucking see. Wonder Review is just fucking fantastic. And Part 9, I haven't read all the way through the first half of Part 9 yet. But I will say the first 5 chapters were interesting. I like the idea of a get-rich story. That intrigues me. Especially with Araki's, like, personalized persona in JoJo's coming back after Part 4. Weird, but I fuck with you. Like, pop off. But it's not like Part 9 with how weird... Part 8 with how... It's not like how Part 8 is too weird and too nonsensical with its plot and its feelings and its characters to undermine what everything Part 7 did. I would still give the alternative universe like a flat 9 out of 10. Probably just below Naruto, like the second part of Naruto. But beside from that, I just haven't read enough Part 9, unfortunately. And I do need to read Part 7 and Part 8, though, just to get myself freshed up. Did not know if it showed up there, but we did in school. We could be boring with the common dilemma. I've never watched or read or played anything Fate related. I've tried to indulge myself. I don't care. It's just one of those series, and where the more I kept trying to understand about it, the less and less of a fuck I gave. Tokyo Ghoul. Fuck it, I might as well just throw these two up. Honestly, no. Better than Bleach, worse than Dragon Ball. I like OG more. Tokyo Ghoul's great. if you like philosophy and world building and the idea of cannibalism and the intricacies and differences and lack thereof differences of ghouls and humans and self-discovery, you'll love Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Re. I remember my comment about Amnesia Rocks being bad. Which, between Part 7 and Part 8, would you prefer? Part 7 every fucking day. But to live in, Part 8. It's a shit show, but I'd much prefer to live in Part 8. As I was saying, remember how I said before I don't like Amnesia Rocks, and I don't think there's one that's ever been done well? Ken Koneki's Amnesia Rock? Never mind. I forgot it existed. I don't know how. It's kind of the main point of Tokyo Ghoul Re for the first half of the story. But it's really, 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 really fucking good. And I think it is well executed. It's confusing for a large majority of it, don't get me wrong. But the separated personas and learning more about the anti-ghoul mechanisms that were going on, and the superhumans made out of ghouls and ghoul cores and the different families and the dragon. All of Tokyo Ghoul is just great. Even the romance between Ken Kaneki and Rez. Why am I forgetting her name? I literally have the manga. I don't know why I'm fucking forgetting it. But I do like the romance in Tokyo Ghoul as well. And the differences... And, like I said before, the differences and the lack thereof differences between ghouls and humans is great. Toka. Like, Ken Kaneki and Toka are actually fucking great. I do kind of wish I put Chaojin X on here, but it's not finished yet. Slam dunk! 9 out of 10. 9.5 out of 10. Probably the single best sports story ever made, and the final chapter made me cry with not one word of dialogue spoken. Not much to say in that one. It's a story about growing up. It's a story about responsibility. It's a story about teamwork and learning to love one another. And accepting your fate in the position that you're currently stuck in and surpassing one's circumstances. It does everything great. I do think it is one of the greatest sports manga ever made. And we're finally out of the manga. Holy fucking shit. Ah! We're done. Oh my days, we're done. We're finally in the manga. Tokyo Ghoul Season 1 and 2 were okay, but once I read Tokyo Ghoul Re, it was so good. If you've read the manga, how does it compare to the manga? The anime for Tokyo Ghoul is actually dog shit compared to its manga. It's not close. I think my one issue with its manga is that its paneling is actually really bad. Like, I don't think, like, they are a necessarily good panelist, and it sucks because it sticks in the Chaojin X too. But, yeah, no. Bear in mind that, the manga is infinitely better than Season 1 and Season 2 of Tokyo Ghoul. I don't think it's fair. Have you ever read Blue Lock? Only the first 100 chapters, and I just didn't fuck with it. And what a fucking masterpiece we're starting with. Yeah. Yeah, I might as well just throw Horizon there, shouldn't I? I might as well just stop. Fucking throw Horizon at the 9.9 with Dragon Ball Z. God. God. How the fuck do you talk about Horizon? How can you start talking about Horizon? Right? It's a story about growing up and the fears of growing up, the fears of isolation, using the ocean as a metaphor for your loneliness, and letting that trip you the fuck out for, like, how many chapters? The entire story, basically? Insane. Insane. I kind of don't want to say anything else about Horizon. Horizon is everybody's mandatory, if you've not read it, go give it a fucking read. It is very, very short. It is not long. You might cry, you might not. Go fucking read Horizon. Because I really don't want to spoil anything else. I will say the ending is bleak, I guess is the word we can use here. I guess? But yeah, my bias gets on the last train. It's good. It's good. I'd probably put it right next to Blue Box. It's a secret romance, kinda. Like, the main girl is, like, actually an indie artist who prefers to keep her music to herself, away from her boyfriend. The most insane 21 chapters I've ever laid my eyes upon. Yeah. Yeah. The only time I've ever been like, what the fuck am I reading, is Osami Pun Pun. Which will probably be right next to Horizon. But I fucking despise Osami Pun Pun as well. Osami Pun Pun's one of the worst stories I've ever read, simply because of how good it is. You know how weird that is? Okay, I'm gonna go to sleep. 2 a.m. and I have a lot of plotting data and stuff to do in the morning. Alright, see you later, Nightshade. As I was saying, my bias gets on the last train. It's a cute little romance. Do I think it deserves all the hype that it gets? For manhwa romances, yes. For romances in general, no. Because it does really nothing special. Right? I guess the only really special thing is that these two are unapologetically in love with each other, and that is actually kind of refreshing to see. Because they're in a relationship very fucking quickly, and they have their ups and downs, and we get to see the ups and downs of their relationship. But bear in mind that it's fine. It's like whatever. But overall, I think it's good. If you just enjoy a nice, kind of cringe, kind of beautiful romance, go read My Bias Gets on the Last Train. Childhood Friend Complex. Probably there, next to Blue Box. It left me with complicated feelings. It's still leaving me with feelings that are empty. I think this is the first technically 18 plus story on the list. Right. I do love both protagonists. I do want them to actually make up. I want them to see eye to eye. I understand the self-harm that she had went through. I understand the general harm that she had gone through and the mental anguishment that our main character is kind of still currently living through to this day. But the argument was fucking cringe. It was so stupid. I don't like how Season 1 ended. I like Season 1, but I don't like how it ended. It's just a forever, like, I want these idiots to make up. Make up, have sex, enjoy life. I'll leave the stream running. Aw, you fucking king. School Bus Graveyard. School Bus Graveyard is really fucking good. Have you ever watched Banco? I don't think I've ever heard of that. What the hell is... No, I've never heard of this. I fuck with the art style, though. The art style kind of gives me Phoenix Wright mixed in with, Persona. That's actually quite cool. Anyway, 18 plus story. Season 1's not the best out there. The romance is actually very cute. The side romance is unironically better than the main one, which is incredibly goddamn stupid. I'm not liking the new guy in the relationship. It's strange. I wish for it to be better. Honestly, I feel... You know what? I might just throw it there. Because it is good, I just don't think it's as good as the author wants it to be. School Bus Graveyard, though, is great. Red is a unironically... Red is so good at her job. This is one of the better world-building stories out there. Between the shades and the alternate dimension, and Ashley being one of the few people that can actually connect to it because of how that connection kind of clashed with her birth. Aiden is a great deuteragonist and love interest for Ashley. I think Taylor and Tyler are great little twins. I think they're cutie little patooties. Whatever the geek's name is. What? The greatest fucking art you will ever find from a manhwa called Her Summon. Everyone agrees the art belongs in a museum, and the story is dog shit in comparison. Well, I prefer to read my stories for... I prefer to read for the stories, not the art. If I was reading shit for the art, then I feel like a lot of these would go down a fair bit. That might just be me, though, to be fair. Anyway. And then, like, the secret government thing is fucking strange. The kids not being able to get any real sleep because they kind of get semi-mentally transported to a new dimension is fucking weird. Loving the concept that if you die in the other world, your main body gets corrupted. So the soul half of you that is in the other world gets fucked around with and shit. Like, Red has such a cool universe that she has set up, and I cannot wait to see how she flourishes out in season 3. I was so worried when you took so long to answer if School Bus Graveyard is good between season 1 and season 2, which you'd prefer. Ooh, season 2. I like the government agency. I love Ashley just being a bad fucking bitch and getting shit done. I love the little fucking geeky guy being actually a part of what might be an assassin family. That's gnarly as fuck. I like Aiden's cousin. Him being a semi-mute because of all the violence he's gone through in his life is sick. Everybody's trauma is well developed. And how they're getting over that trauma, I feel like actually might be really, really, really fucking good in Season 3. I think Season 3 might be the end of the story, though. I kind of hope it isn't, but I do kind of hope it does at the same time. I don't know. I'm conflicted on whether or not I think Season 3 should end. But yes, you're so right. Even just being reminded that I have pages in my head. But I cannot tell you what happens if you put a gun to my head. Oh, I hate that. But yeah, School Bus Graveyard, honest to God, 8 out of 10. I think Red has done a more than excellent job at establishing her story. I wish I recorded my reaction to a lot of events that happened, though. Because when I tell you, I fucking spotted that origami immediately and knew the teacher was up to some shady shit. I fucking saw it from a mile away. It was so subtle, so minute, and it stuck out just enough for anybody to have read it carefully to be like, hey, you know? It's great. If I ever make this into a clip, Red, I hope Season 3 goes well for you. Carry it on. You're a great artist. Then, probably the single greatest manhwa to ever exist. Probably the single funniest story I've ever read. Probably a story that had no fucking right to make me cry. The greatest estate developer. I would, honest to God, give the greatest estate developer a 9 out of 10. And no higher. I feel like it peaks at a 9. If you've never read The Greatest Estate Developer, its novelization, or the actual manhwa, stick with me. This shit is a gnarly fucking ride. I'll post a pic on the Discord for simplicity's sake. What, of your story? Oh, wow, that's a manhwa? Holy shit. Wow. Wow, that is beautiful. Thinking about thinking about that one, I also imagine in my head, but mostly the MC screaming and looking deranged. Oh! Lloyd Frontera is a bastard. He is a fucking prick. And the most lovable man ever. Him and Javier have such a weirdly healthy dynamic with one another ever since, obviously Kim takes over the Frontera body, as it is it is technically a transmigration story. It's a loop story. If we're gonna be absolutely real, it's a transmigration story that loops in on itself. SSS Clash Revival Hunter is also an underrated manga. I've only read the first handful of chapters of that. I'm loving it already. I've only read the first handful of chapters. God damn it, I want to read more of it. If y'all want me, I'll rank my favorite stories. Yeah, you can. If you have got tier lists of every story that you've ever read, post them in the chat. It's fine. Or post them in mindless rants. It's a technical transmigration. Yes. Heavy on the technical. Now that you mentioned, now at the end, since you've mentioned it, it could have been there. Where would Mob go? Mob Psycho, I would probably put above Jurassic Park, but below Dandadan. Like an 8.7. I hear the no-sell is shit. I have to make a tier list of my favorite stories. Absolutely, yeah. That shit's gonna take forever. Or you can just post 10 pages of it. Anybody got a question, you can just add names later. But yeah, no, Lloyd Frontera is one of the greatest protagonists of all time. Him and the, like, little animal summons that he ends up getting for his construction shit is gnarly and weird, and I love it. The Ice Dragon is great. The queen, I'm forgetting her name. I feel really fucking stupid forgetting her name. Is so cool. I love her relationship with Lloyd. It's so, like, I want to grab their cheeks and be like, yes. Yes! Alright, fair enough. Would, however, argue, it got one of the absolute best adaptations of anime of all time. Wait, I'm lost. What anime would have, what manga has the best anime adaptation of all time? Just do an actual tier list with pictures. Just so you don't have to, like, constantly rank everything like that. I'm doing this because I'm insane, and I think this is just easier to do. Oh, Mob Psycho. Oh, yeah. Compared to its, like, weird fucking comic book, I would say it's the single biggest upgrade in any story ever. Especially for Season 3. Anyway, Lloyd's great. My only problem is that the pacing is dog shit near the end. I would say the last two major arcs with the mermaids and the muscle people, like the muscle village near the end, are completely fucking useless. Well, the mermaids aren't completely useless. The muscles are completely fucking useless. What an absolute waste of my actual fucking time. But I do like how he's able to rig over heaven and hell. I like how the devil wants him to work for him so he can have a break. I love the idea of isolationism and trying to find a family and building your own family and creating friendships along the way. I think it just does an excellent job at everything it does. Y'all want a word tier list or picture one? Picture one would take me like 7 hours. Creating a tier list does not take that long. Unironically, it doesn't take that long. Mine only didn't have that many because I was rushing. How does this have any liquid left? Anyway, here is the updated tier list. Let me move my fat fucking head out the way, so we can go through this bit by bit. The updated tier list goes a 7 to a 7.4, Kaiju number 8, Horror Mie, Childhood Friend Complex, My Jessup Darling, and Dragon Ball Super. All stories that I don't think are necessarily bad, because they're a 7, I think all of them are good, I think all of them are blatant problems. Like, I don't think My Jessup Darling or Horror Mie either just don't have a side cast or a not big enough cast to give a fuck about, or more than the main characters actually give a fuck about. I think Dragon Ball Super, the first half of it, is so clearly written by Akira Toriyama, who actively doesn't want to write the story anymore, is kind of insufferable, but when he ends up giving it off to his protege to write the Moro arc, superhero arc in the manga at the very least, and the Moro arc, it is a clear jump in difference, and you can tell he actually has a love and passion for the series. And Kaiju number 8, while the action is sick, I feel like the world building and the story isn't well developed enough. A 7.5 to a 7.9, I've got Mistborn, Fairy Tail, Blue Box, My Bias Gets in the Last Train, and Black Clover. Mistborn, I think, doesn't argue enough for why the cult is bad. Weirdly, I think the whole ending of the MC becoming a weird mystic god-esque force, the war with the father is strange, the rebuilding of society isn't an actual focus point for some goddamn reason, and I do think that is a major flaw in Brandon Sanderson's actual writing. Fairy Tail, it is fantastic. I do think its writing is too inconsistent to be considered anything else other than a 7.6, unfortunately, though, and I do think the fan service does bring it down a little bit the more you keep out looking at it, but most of it isn't for nothing. Blue Box is great, the sport is great, I just think for the deuteragonist of the story, Shinichi, being the love interest, being the other protagonist, doesn't get enough screen time, doesn't get enough actual attention focused on herself and her games, which is very, very disappointing. That is more Shinichi's side of thing. The sports side of thing is more Taiki, and the romance is more Shinichi. I feel like that's a bit cliche, a bit bland, but its side characters are good enough to help raise the story a little bit. My Bias Gets in the Last Train is a very generic, but very lovey-dovey and very, very cute romance story, and I think it does everything well, but nothing great. Black Clover kind of suffers from the idea that the first half of the story is not that great, but the second half of the story is actually fucking fantastic, with a very, very rushed ending, but can you blame the man? His family was sick, he was sick, Shonen Jump dropped him, basically, you know? Like, I don't blame him for having a rushed ending, but I do think it did hurt it in the long run. For an 8 to an 8.4, we've got Mad, School Bus Graveyard, Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo, Marriage Toxin, Kagurabachi, Boruto Part 1, Shadow Slave, Chainsaw Man, both Part 1 and Part 2, and Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm not going to go through all of these at once, just understand the world building for most of these are incredibly well written. I think the power systems for the vast majority of these are really, really, really fucking cool. It just has too many things holding it back to really go anywhere with it. Like, JJK, I think for the first half of the story, wastes its time. For Modulo, I think it doesn't really get its point across effectively enough, hence why its fanbase is so fucking stupid. I've not read the last third arc of Kagurabachi yet, but the first two arcs are a great fundamental standing point and establishing world building and the characters, but I feel like its story is just lacking that extra bit of substance from where I'm currently at. Diora does help it a lot. Honestly, you know what, fuck it, it can go there, it can be above Shadow Slave. Shadow Slave, dialogue is incredibly fucking cringe, Sunny's incredibly fucking cringe. Bear in mind that, I really don't have that many complaints about it. I think the world building is great. I think the characters are generally, like, really, really fucking good. I just think the dialogue in Shadow Slave is a big thing that holds its story back for me. Boruto, its art is terrible. School Bus Graveyard, I don't think it has enough time to flesh out its story. And Mad and Marriage Toxin are both baby stories so far. Like, Marriage Toxin's story isn't necessarily the best, and Mad is literally just concluding its second arc ever, so it's very much in a very similar boat to Kagurabachi. I just think the story isn't there yet, in comparison to Kagurabachi, in where it just fucking blasted off. Also gonna mention this for the last time. I've read the trilogy of Maze Runner, and I gotta say the books are better than the movies. The third time. Oh. Wait, did you type that several times? I'm sorry, I was on a ramble. Gotta make the shorts interesting. My bad, dog. And I've only ever read the first Maze Runner book and the first two, oh, fuck. Hunger Games books. And objectively better than movies in every fucking way. It's not close. I don't think Maze Runner is good enough for me to finish it, but I do want to finish the Hunger Games. Anyway, from an 8.5 to an 8.9, I've got Hell's Paradise, Boruto Part 2, JoJo's Bulking of Part 1 and Part 2, My Hero Academia, Jurassic Park's novel, Dandadan, One Piece Part 1, Naruto Part 1, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure from Part 3 to Part 6, and One Piece Part 2. All of these stories excel in separate parts, right? Horikoshi, My Hero Academia, Dandadan, Naruto, and honestly, just those three. Their art styles are exceptional. Unfucking real. Like actually uncomparable to everything else. And they also have great sidecasts. One Piece, do I need to explain why One Piece is like an 8.8 to an 8.9? It's fucking fantastic. Please do give me the Royal Road. Please give a Royal Road try for web novels. I have a lot of web novels to fucking read. Let me catch up to a couple others. JoJo's Part 1 is the bulking of the Hamon era of JoJo's is heavily held back by Part 1 existing, and me not thinking it is a necessarily good story, but Part 2 boosts it up massively. Part 3 and Part 5 hold back the collective new stand era of Araki's work. Bear in mind that I've got very little flaws with it. Naruto Part 1 is fucking unreal. I cannot believe Part 1 is as well written as it is generally. I just think there's a couple of narrative issues that could be tied up, that Part 2 did help tie up, just not enough for me to give enough of a fuck in its quality of writing to boost her up higher than it actually deserves. I've got a series I read as a child, don't recommend it, but now that I'm an adult, I love Beast Quest. Beast Quest is a shout! I've not heard of Beast Quest since fucking primary school, dude. Holy fuck. Anyway, and then Jurassic Park is a great horror story. I think it does everything that it does. I think Jurassic Park does everything that it needs to perfectly. I cannot wait to read New World because I've heard it's as good as the original novel. And Hell's Paradise is the best out of the Dark Triad when it comes to Chainsaw Man and JJK, in my opinion, because it does everything great but nothing amazing in comparison to the other two, in where they've clearly got parts of the story that hold back. Like, pretty much all of Part 2 of Chainsaw Man is objectively worse than Part 1, in my opinion, when it comes to establishing its thematics, when it comes to how well it utilizes its side characters, and the devil. Actually, I do think the devils in Part 2 are better than Part 1. Bear in mind that, I just think Part 2 is just worse, which is unfortunate. Beast Quest was certainly a series. Have you seen the game? I have seen the game. I played the game in high school? I think it was. It wasn't the best. Could have been better. One more thing I need to rank. Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'll tell you this now, for free. It would be in that, like, 9.6 category, dog. I'll tell you that now, Arlen. Speaking of the 9s, we've got 9s to a 9.4. All of these have nothing less than brilliant writing in them when it comes to... Anyway, from the 9 to the 9.4 is the greatest estate developer, Naruto Part 2, the new era of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure going from Part 7 to Part 9, The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, Bleach, Tokyo Ghoul RE, and the original Tokyo Ghoul, OG Dragon Ball, and then there were none. All of these are fantastic. Every single thing in anything that's in the 9 and above is a must read. I don't care how much time you've got. I don't care if you've got other shit to read. Put it down and read everything in the 9 and above. Completely fucking necessary. And then in my 9.5 to 10 out of 10, these are some of my personal favorite stories of all time. I think every single one of these stories deserve the recognition they have harnessed throughout the years. Going from the 9.5 to the 10 out of 10, we've got Slam Dunk, Berserk, Vinland Saga, Monster, The Horizon, Dragon Ball Z, and Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. Oh! Holy fuck, that was dizzying. Trying to say that all fast. I might take a break. I've been talking consecutively for 2 hours and 15 minutes, and my head's going to explode. And we've still got 2 more tier lists to do. Woohoo! I think I will leave it to 1 more tier list today. I think we'll talk about the Pokemon games, and then we'll end the stream, because it is 10 o'clock at night. I read every single book from book 1 to 70 when I was in school. I even own 28 volumes myself. That's crazy. For free? Thank you for your wisdom. Bro hasn't been breathing for the last 10 minutes. Brother? No. I'm lacking oxygen. Severely. I used to borrow book 4 and 5 of Beast Quest from my local library, though. Each one twice and then return them to get 5. The most goated fucking time of my life, not gonna lie. Almost done gathering images. Fair enough, Quibs. But yeah, Avatar, I would probably throw in that 9.6, 9.7. I think Season 1 is not a 10 out of 10 series, unfortunately. I do think Season 3 and Season 2 are damn near perfect, if it wasn't for how bad these authors are at writing romance. Holy fuck, they cannot write romance to save their goddamn lives. There's a reason Zutara is a thing. I like Zutara more than Zatang, simply from how the story has presented their relationships to me. But I did watch the movie, and now I do like Zatang more than Zutara. I think the movie helps the series a lot. I don't think the comics help, though. I think the comics bring down the series quite a bit. But that's why it's called Book 4. Isn't it in Discord server, Quips? That's a manhwa? Yeah, nearly every panel looks like that. Story is controversial to say the least, but it's called Her Summon. Yeah, the romance is immensely questionable. The romance is dog shit. I will fight anybody on this. I think the romance in the Avatar The Last Airbender should objectively never be looked at, even though it is a massive portion of the story. Same with the other work, The Dragon Prince, right, over at Netflix, 7 seasons long. They've just got gained enough money for 2 more seasons, I think, or for book 3 to be adapted. I really hope they don't carry on the romance at all, because it's not that great in The Dragon Prince either. It's better. It's objectively better, but it's still not great. Anyway, we're going to do the Pokemon tier list next. I'm going to throw on YouTube for y'all. Let's see if I can find y'all a video to get distracted with. Because I need a little bit of a breather. I need to step outside my room. I'm sweating like a priest in a primary school. This is not fun for me. Let's see. Is that my video? Why? Stop recommending me my video, bitch. Fuck off. Let's see. Let's see. How about we... Yeah. Kaiju Center. Anyway, I'll be right back with y'all. See y'all in a sec.
This is a mosasaur.
Nope.
And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the Kraken of the seas, Nanaimotuthis haggerty. Allegedly this big, according to a recent estimate. Now, are the fearsome Mosasaurus and T-Rex about to lose their crown as apex predators to this brutal usurper? Today on Koji Center, we dissect a discovery that took the net by storm and answer the questions: did this and could this real-life Kraken steal the top spot of the most dangerous predator of the Cretaceous? Watch till the end to reveal this answer. Cephalopods, the class in which this kraken belongs to, are known for having a wide range of killing tools. From tough beaks capable of gnawing through shells and scales, grappling arms and tentacles and construct with dozens of weaponized suction cups, and many species sporting venomous bites that paralyze and incapacitate prey. These things have been swimming about for 500 million years, and any prey unlucky to get caught by any one of these has suffered a grisly end, as we are going to cover in a bit. But in today's oceans, while the near-mythical giant and colossal squid inspired horrors like Kraken and Luska, the rare encounters we've had with these squid have been more eerie than deadly. Here's some good news, or bad news if you're a complete psycho. Humans are likely not on the menu for these big fellas. The real monsters of Lovecraftian nightmares? Surprisingly chill, at least towards us. But if we go back in time, these giant cephalopods might have been a little more unforgiving. Imagining a giant apex predator in the sea makes you wonder sometimes what it would be like to feel like the dominating force in the sea. What if you could jump into that kind of large-scale chaos yourself, wielding unyielding power unlike anything ever seen before, which is now possible in War Thunder, today's sponsor. Now, pay close attention, because you're looking at the most intense free-to-play multiplayer military action game, immersing you in epic battles, not just in the sea, but jets, helicopters, and tanks colliding in huge, highly detailed cinematic battles. No generic health bars either. Hit the wrong spot and boom goes your entire vessel with one shot. Many tools at your disposal, like guided missiles, active defense systems, smoke screens, night vision, drones, and even nukes to wipe out the whole map. Ninth Wave Update is here, folks, giving you access to Hungarian aviation, gorgeous updated water physics, and new aircraft like F-16C, Block 52, and MiG-29M. And because you can jump between land, sea, and air combat, you can fight however you want. So what are you waiting for, man? After you're done watching this video, scroll down and hit that link below. Put on some headphones, get comfortable, because what you will experience is unreal. Seriously, dude. New players plus returning players who haven't played in 6 months get bonuses including 100k Silver Lions, Eagle of Valor Decorator, and more. And if you want the same chaos on the go, pull out your iOS or Android phone and dominate without worrying about a kraken pulling up and pulling you down into the depths. Which takes us to a very important section, which will help us determine whether or not Nanaimo-toothis could even run into T-Rex or Mosa. So this creature was first discovered back in 2008 and still further studied this very year from fossils in Japan and Canada. Nanaimo-toothis was a genus of gigantic octopus that included several species. Yeah, there were others. The largest, hailing from the Pender Formation of Canada, Nanaimo-toothis haggerty, was what broke the internet when the publication revealed its dimensions. Not only was the beak larger than any known giant or colossal squid beak, but just the so-called head of this thing, the mantle, was likely between about 1.5 to 4.4 meters long. At the higher estimate, that puts its head about as long as a T-Rex like Sue is tall at the hip. And with the arms stretched out, this creep from the deep was popularized at a mind-boggling length of over 18 meters. Ever stood next to a school bus before? Bigger. Now, the study didn't provide any mass estimates, but if this species had a build somewhere between other big cephalopods like the colossal squid and giant Pacific octopus, this real-life kraken would have broken the scales at anywhere from 2 to 6 or more metric tons at that length. That is ludicrously big for a cephalopod. Orders of magnitude bigger than any living or extinct known to us so far. Note that even small cephalopod beaks are strong enough to chew through tough crustacean shells and concentrate an otherwise moderate crunching force to spike across the sharp tips of the jaw. So an octopus this size would be able to shred muscle and crunch through tough shells, scales, and some bone. But wait, there's more! The larger an octopus gets, the more suction cups they tend to have. But with some larger octopi in our own time having dozens of pounds of grip strength, this would scale up to a strangling hold that could take an insane amount of force to escape from. So, if this beast existed in the modern day, assuming it was this big, it might well be capable of doing what those old Mariner pictures depict, and pull down small ships, or give Captain Nemo a panic attack. A victim snatched from the surface would be quickly dragged downwards into the depths and enveloped. So even if you had your diving gear on, the pressure changes would rupture your eardrums and squeeze air from your lungs. The suction cups would seize and shred, grip strength potentially being enough to wrench off pieces of flesh. And then the beak comes into play. As you are drowned, crushed, and twisted, chunks of flesh the size of a grapefruit would be sectioned out, bite by bite. At that point, one might as well hope paralytic venom, drowning, or the octopus getting lucky and hitting a vital organ would follow next. So, an 18-meter Cretaceous kraken might well be a top-order predator in the modern day, and a man-eater if it found us palatable. If Nanaimo-toothis genuinely was this big, it could have preyed on the large marine reptiles and sharks of the Cretaceous, and possibly even some sea-bound dinosaurs chancing a swim between shorelines might have been dragged to their doom. Wear and tear on the preserved beaks does show it was consuming a lot of tough prey, so chewing into bones was possible. And some infamous incidents at aquariums have shown octopi are quite happy to take on prey their own size class. So, was this Cretaceous kraken genuinely ruling over the inner circle of Hell's aquarium? Well, reality is a bit less fantastic than the headline. Make no mistake, Nanaimo-toothis is undoubtedly one of, if not the biggest cephalopod to ever exist, and certainly would have been a force to be reckoned with. But something lost in the headlines was that the authors of the paper announcing it noted 18 meters was the extremely high estimate for its length. Why? This bygone beast of the sea belonged to the cirrate octopus family, which still exists today in the ocean depths. Most modern members are pretty stumpy, small, and honestly kind of cute. This might be a determining factor in answering our question. So, these octopi do have some pretty bulky bodies, but the length of their arms can be extremely variable. Some are very long, but others are very short. You'd only get to 18 meters with the absolute biggest possible metric. About 6.6 to 12 meters was considered more likely, and that would knock down the possible size considerably. A very big one might have been approximately 650 to 1500 kilograms, depending on build. Maybe higher, maybe lower. This is still much larger than most colossal squid, but way short of the metric that made some people think they discovered the real-life version of the Meyer squid, or Gizora. Additionally, cephalopod experts weighing in on the topic, like Christian Klug, have cautioned that the high estimates for this giant octopus are unlikely and hard to pin down, given all we have is just beaks. Soft-bodied animals don't preserve well in the fossil record, so figuring out what the rest of it looked like is already a difficult question. But even if it was smaller, the fossils themselves leave evidence of grim possibilities. The beaks of these actual krakens were very robust and showed wear patterns indicating they were chomping into hard objects. This could be a sign they were chewing into bone, or they might have been preying on their fellow cephalopods and gnawing into the shells of armored ammonites. Probably both. What's more, the wear patterns showed possible signs of something known as laterality. This is when an animal favors one side of the body over another, like being right or left-hand dominant, or chewing on one side of the jaw more. Even more frightening in this case is that laterality is a good marker of intelligence in the animal kingdom. And given how sharp some modern octopi are, it is possible Nanaimo-toothis was one of the smartest animals of its time. If true, this could mean it was sharp enough to locate and exploit weaknesses in prey or rivals, remember favorable hunting grounds, or possibly even engage in group hunting like some modern cephalopods. So could this actual kraken take on the terrors of T-Rex, Tylosaurus, and Mosasaurus? Well, maybe, only if it truly was the maximum estimated size, but there is another hurdle a lot of the buzz seems to have missed. Alongside it likely being huge for an octopus, but smaller than 12 meters long, Nanaimo-toothis is actually from a very particular time in the Cretaceous. So far, the fossils are from about 100 to 72 million years ago. While the last chunk of that time would have allowed Nanaimo-toothis to meet the earlier species of Mosasaurus and Tylosaurus, T-Rex wouldn't crop up for another few million years. Mosasaurs did exist 100 million years ago, but they were drastically smaller than the biggest ones at the end of the Cretaceous. With the giant pliosaurs like Kronosaurus dying out just before 100 million years ago, and most larger sharks like the Ginsu shark needing some time to reach huge sizes too, the Cretaceous seas would have been a smaller playing field when the big octopus first showed up versus later on. So it's possible the big octopus grew to such a scale to fill a void at the time, and then had to contend with larger and larger threats over time. Could this kraken fell the dragons of the deep and hunt mosasaurs? At a similar size, maybe. The grappling arms of the octopus and sharp venomous beak could lead to a death sentence if it grabbed the mosasaur by the middle and chowed down, often ripping into it while it is still alive. But a bite to the mantle by the serrated jaws of a large enough mosasaur could also be a death blow to the cephalopod. But if we're talking the biggest of the big Mosasaurus and Tylosaurus that might have existed toward the tail end of this octopus's reign, then the sheer size and weight difference would have led to the draconic leviathans likely preying on the krakens from time to time. But what about pulling dinosaurs into a watery grave? Well, entirely possible if the octopus was big enough or the target was small enough. Even without the turbo-octo size being likely, this was still a big animal with a key advantage in the water versus a land animal at sea. And some modern octopi have certainly not been shy about trying some dinosaur flesh in their diet. So, final answer, probably didn't happen in the real world, assuming the information we know today stands accurate. Tyrannosaurus was likely spared a grisly end by the tentacled menace. Nanaimo-toothis is a magnificent beast regardless of the specifics. Whether it really was an apex predator that even smaller mosasaurs feared, or a resourceful denizen of the deep who preyed on a variety of game from fish to the armored ammonites, more research will have to be done. And if some news breaks, you can bet you'll hear it from us on Goji Center.
This is Minecraft Manhunt, but one block or mob is secretly OP. Whatever it is drops overpowered loot that gets better over time, but every time I figure it out, it changes to something new. This time there are 5 hunters, and they only have one goal: stop me before I beat the game. To help them out, the longer I take, the stronger their armor becomes, but once their armor upgrades to netherite, they enter hardcore mode. From that moment on, if they die, they're out of the video for good. So, can I beat the game before they eliminate me, or will the hunters eliminate themselves trying to stop me? If you guys want to see more insane manhunts like this, let's aim for 5,000 likes. Now let's get straight into the video.
Phase him out. He's this way he can't get past us. Phase him out. No, no, he's getting away.
Let's go.
Boost.
Chase him.
Oh my
Johnny,
god,
boost.
this
Get
is
boost
awful.
train. There's 5 of us.
This is so bad.
Boost me, bruv.
Oh my god.
I'm boosting Jake into you.
Hey Jake, what does it say at the bottom of your screen since
Jake,
you're
I'm
new here?
boosting you. I'm boosting you. Don't say anything, Jake.
Do not tell him
say
what it
it's
says,
mangrove
Jake, you
root.
silly, silly man.
OP drop.
Don't tell him it says squidding.
Yo, chill. Chill.
Ow.
Wait, did you get anything from that, Henry?
Wait, what did you say?
Jake, by the way, if you go underwater in Minecraft, you can swim, you muppet.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get some wood for us and some resources.
Johnny's ahead. Yes, good man. Smack him over here.
Oh, he went the other way.
Hey, Johnny.
What are you doing, John?
There.
I don't know. I kind of forgot we were playing Minecraft.
Hey,
Whack
Johnny.
him, whack him. Touch
lost
his
There's a
armor.
village. No, he's gonna find out that Iron Golem's got the OP loot.
Wait,
shush,
shush,
shush, Willy, shush.
No, it's
Sorry,
actually,
sorry,
it's
sorry.
Golem Iron. It's Golem Iron. It's backwards.
Oh.
No, please don't tell him it's squid sheepink. Smack him. He's got melons.
Whoa, you can't-
He's so dead.
You can't say
he's
that about
actually
me.
dead here.
Done.
He's dead here.
done. Oh,
I'm killing
there's
him.
not-
He's dead.
I'm cutting
He's
him.
so boost. No.
Who the fuck is this? Who are these guys? Oh, blocks. Never mind. Anyway, we're back. I'm back. Oh, I need that. It is not windy enough outside. Like, at all. So I have to stop devouring ice cream. Speaking about hunting, I should get a job and pay real money for the legendary Titan amulet. I used to collect the cards as a kid. I had all 4 original Titans. Everyone left. Not surprising. Not surprising at all. I'm not surprised at all. Don't blame him. But we're on about Pokemon this time, baby. That's real. Alright. Oh, as a kid it was, because we all fucked with hunting in primary school. And dog, I pay like £40 a month for catch, for like, actually no, it's probably way more than 40 a month for just cat stuff. And that's ignoring like rent and shit. I hate it. Being an adult's miserable. Anyway, let's get a thank you Goji guy. He's the GOAT of Kaiju Monster videos. Love that man to death. Back on with the tier listing. I swear to God, if Hunter sold toys of the popular amulets, I would fucking... they would be fucking millionaires. Yeah. They did. They did. I swear to God there was a sword that they sold. For the, like, fucking dragon thing. Yeah, there is. See? My big ass fucking face is in the way, but yeah. Fun fact, I think only a handful of these actually had the dragon card inside them, which is cool. Anyway, Pokemon! Ranging from Goated to all the way to why do you exist? Why? Why do you exist? I know a lot of people either in the stream have either played a handful of Pokemon games or not at all. And that's why I'll come in with the absolutely controversial takes. I think I've spent no less than... I think the smallest amount of time I've ever done on a mainline Pokemon game is probably Brilliant Diamond, Spark and Pearl. Which is like 20 hours. Everything else I think I've got over 100 hours in. In, again, mainline games. So let's just get into it. With my correct opinions. Red and blue, glitchy messes, shit level curve, fun Pokemon. The crit hacks is actually very, very fun to use and abuse. Bear in mind that, not that fun. They're alright. Silver, yellow though. Yellow's pretty good. Yellow's pretty good. I fuck with yellow. I like having Pikachu as like the baseline starter that you can level up in friendship. Another tier list where I can give fuck all input on. Come on, say. How have you never played a Pokemon game? But yeah, the ability to get all 3 starters, goated. The ability to collect every single Pokemon, goated. Love that. I think the only thing that holds this game back, if I remember correctly, you can't get every single Pokemon in the game because of the Moonstone shortage, which is very buns, very ass cheeks. I started playing Pokemon in Gen 7. Damn. I started playing Pokemon when fucking Fire Red and Leaf Green came out. Behave. Anyway, Gold and Silver are great. Like the more than Yellow. I grew up playing Spyro, and that's about it. God, I fucking love Spyro games. I fucked with the original trilogy, and that proper Legends trilogy, like the proper emo one. God, I fucked with that one so much. Anyway, Gold and Silver, great. Shit rival. I'm never, ever gonna like Silver as a rival, period, pinpoint, ever. Lyra's really annoying. I'm sorry, Lance is just a shit champion. I don't fuck with Lance. Him hyper beaming a bitch in the face, though, is really funny. Red Gyarados is really cool. Ampharos is a goated-ass Pokemon, but it suffers from the same thing as Kanto did, which is the level curve is shit. Differences in here, the actual Pokemon that came out of Gen 2 are actual dog shit doo-doo ass, and somehow Crystal made that worse. Because all of the good Pokemon that you can't get until either way later in the game, or not at all. Like, I don't think you can get Flaffy or Ampharos till the 4th gym, I think it is? Or some shit, like, why do I have to until fucking Morty to get the sheep? What the fuck is wrong with you? I was more into my Nintendo and Skylanders. Skylanders is based. I just like playing games as a kid. Love playing games as a kid. I'm not good at games, but I like playing them. But yeah, Crystal is pretty much just a worse version of Gold and Silver. And then Heart Gold, Soul Silver is pretty much just Crystal mixed in with these two. With all the bugs and the animations fixed and shit. All the levels are kind of fixed, if I remember correctly. Generally, it's just an alright game. By the way, Kanto being a post game, it's never been great. Cause there's still fuck all to do in Kanto. Bear in mind, get the gym badges. Oh, you get to fight Red. That's cool. Let me do that in the base game. Consider that one. Consider sucking my dick, Game Freak. Ruby and Sapphire, meh. Gen 3 has always been my least favorite generation. Spoiler alert, I'll throw these in alright as well. I've never liked Gen 3. I've never liked Gen 3 Pokemon. I've never cared for the Gen 3 gym leaders. The best part about Gen 3 is the music, because the evil teams actually suck fucking ass. They're so boring, so cliche. What the fuck are you doing waking up the primal guardians of the ocean and the fucking land, waiting for the deity of the skies to come down to sort your shit out, you fucking morons? This probably also has the single most hyped Pokedex of all time. Like, I'm sorry. Mawile, Sableye, Absol, Plusle Minun, all fucking overrated shit. All overrated. Not a single one of them are worth giving a singular fuck about. And I'll die in that hill. I grew up playing Mario Kart, Wally, Avatar, and Mario on my DSi. When I wasn't doing that, I was in my friends playing Skylanders, Spyro Adventure, and Giants. I didn't play Pokemon until I was around 15. I started playing Alpha Sapphire when a friend of mine stole both the special edition 2DS and the game. Your friend sounds like a dick. Your friend sounds like a massive prick. Also, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, just to clarify on this one as well, the post-game for these games does help a lot. I do like the post-games more than the Battle Tower. I hate that introduction in this. I've never liked the Battle Tower. I've never really liked the Battle Tower mechanic, and you can never make me enjoy the Battle Tower. It's always going to be the most tedious, monotonous, fucking grindy bullshit sesh in Pokemon history. And I do like that they not only got rid of it here, they give it an actual post-game. I will say this is the worst batch of Mega Revolutions the series has ever introduced. Sorry, not sorry. It is the truth, though. Fire Red and Leaf Green are good, though. I'd say they're really good. They harbor and great. Pretty much every single issue that you have with with Red and Blue and Yellow isn't fixed, but it's made better. The level curve isn't nearly as bad. The graphical upgrade is insane. That is actually something I will give Ruby and Sapphire. They are really, really, really fucking pretty games. And Emerald does fix a little bit of the story issues, but not enough for me to give a fuck about. Anyway, honestly, it's just Kanto. I do enjoy the post game. I do enjoy the semi-islands as like a little fuck off side journey thing that you do for shits and gigs, but bear in mind that it's alright. It's just Kanto, innit? Like, I've never really fully enjoyed, and I never really can enjoy the first three original generations all that much. I will say I do fuck with all 3 generations music though, which is a bit more than I can say for Diamond and Pearl because they're kind of meh. No, they're alright. They're probably the peak of alright, while Platinum can go in great. Because everything that Diamond and Pearl does with the evil antagonist, the introduction to the greater gods of the universe with Dialga, Giratina, and Arceus representing not only multiple different forms of existence, but also multiple different variants of the universe as a whole, with space and time, liquid and steel, gas, and general elements, and Arceus being the god is just a cool introduction. Too bad Cyrus and the evil team fucking suck. Half the Gen 4 Pokemon that are introduced in this game, you can't get into the post-game. Why? Why? It's got a battle tower. It's got a better version of the battle tower that was introduced in Gen 3. That still doesn't excuse the fact that it's still not good. It's still not good. Like, I'm sorry. I got gifted a fucked up 3DS and got into Monster Hunter instead. Never played a single Pokemon game again. Fair. That makes a lot more sense. I've only ever played through two Monster Hunter games. So just trying to say that I too know fuck all about this except for Rayquaza being the coolest thing ever. And when I got my Nintendo 3DS for my birthday, my first ever game was Luigi's Mansions 2. Goated game! Absolutely goated game, yeah, absolutely. Luigi Mansions 2 is so fucking good, dude. I should probably make a games tier list. I have very controversial opinions on games, if Ruby and Sapphire couldn't fucking tell. But no, pretty much every single issue that I have with this, not only with the post-game, with the general levels, and how, for some reason, the gym leader roster is a bit fucking weirder, and the Elite Four are kinda just shit, and Symphony is a little too hard for what the game actually gives you at the time. I can thank this game for introducing the physical special split, though, because, oh my god, trying to remember the evolutions to distinct and separate what the fuck made a physical special split is the stupidest fucking thing ever. I'm starting to realize this stream just has ball knowers. Oh yeah, I have somehow harnessed a group of like 15 to 30 people, all that know ball. Everyone knows ball here. But yeah, oh, and the speed. Platinum fixes the speed of the game, too, and introduces Giratina, which is one of the single most gnarly Pokemon of all fucking time. I'll never understand Giratina hate. But honestly, at a certain point, you kind of gotta respect it. Heart Gold and Soul Silver is just Gold and Silver mixed in with Crystal, in terms of both their stories with Eugene. The level curve isn't fixed, but it's better. The introduction of Generation 4-esque Pokemon being actually made into Heart Gold and Soul Silver, meaning that you can actually get them, is a fantastic introduction. The Safari Zone being a thing that in where you can get stronger Pokemon later on is a fantastic introduction. I do think the Safari Zone does suck mechanically, but bear in mind that I don't think it's all that bad. I think it's quite good. And this being the technical first area in where we get the DLC introduction, right? Because Heart Gold, Soul Silver, you not only do you get the Spiky Pikachu event, or Spiky Pichu event, but you also get Silver's backstory, and Giovanni and what he was doing when Team Rocket were taking over Goldenrod City. Generally, just better games. They're good, they're not great like everybody says they are. Black and White, though, are amazing. I am a Gen 5 baby. I am a Gen 5 boy. These were the first new games I got introduced to, I believe. I started on Fire Red and Leaf Green. But Pokemon Platinum had already been released when I got into Pokemon, and then Black and White, and then Black 2 White 2 came out. Where you, of course, know the glows of Jet's bottom. Don't be like that. Jet's a baddie, but I don't give a fuck about asses. Quibs is not an ass guy. Confirmed, I guess. Weird, but okay. If you want to move away from games, I also collected the most goated figures and monsters in order of Bakugan, Gormits, Bionicles, Schletch, and like I don't know, I've never heard of that last one. Gormits sounds familiar, but I fuck with Bakugan. I was a massive Bakugan kid when I was a massive Bakugan person as a kid. I love the animation and the anime. It was so cool. Like the weird little rivalry thing Dan Maruko and Dragonoid had with the fucking season 3 alien parasite guys that was like constantly traversing worlds. You don't know Schleich? Nope, never heard of it in my life. Let's do a quick little Google. I probably have heard of it, to be fair. I've just never seen the name. Nope, never heard of... What, like... Okay, 1 minute. Yeah, this is just toys. Yeah, we don't have this here. I think we do have a couple of these in zoos that we have around here, but I've never really gave a fuck. Yeah, no. I don't know half of these. That's crazy. They're huge over here. And then Gormits is something kind of rings a bell, but it kind of doesn't at the same time. Because it does kind of ring a bell and it doesn't at the same time. This was definitely something that was popular when I was a kid. I never got into it, though. I never understood what it was. Like, this was advertised everywhere in England, but I never got to know what it was. They were made with high-quality figures, basically everything. I mean, fucking base, like, I love that. Pre-third nightmare, any choice he made is literally changed like wanting to say, but never. The way Sonny is completely ignored and made pointless is cause fated. It's cause fated, and he rarely gets to make a choice anyway. That is true. Sonny almost never gets to make a choice that's he sticks with completely. Anyway. Where was I at? Oh yeah, Black and White 2. Black and White's probably the first introduction of, like, having a moderately okay story. She was talking about Third Nightmare and Sonny's, like, being dragged away from shit. She wasn't actually spoiling me on shit. So, don't worry about it, Quivs. But I like how Underhorse mentioned that they were quite expensive, but if you had a load of them, you're a rich kid for sure. I heard Third Nightmare and Fear. Yeah, no, don't worry. Even though... who was it? Was it Seek? That said it before? That's not made me happy for whatever the fuck TOC stands for, but... Yeah. Now I've got my fucking ears up for whatever hell... Whatever anything abbreviates to TOA now, or TAC, I'm gonna be on edge. Anyway, Black and White. First time we get a proper introduction to a story. This is the first time I think I've ever looked at a full Pokedex of 556 Pokemon and been like, yeah, the majority of these are really, really fucking cool. I fuck with the pseudo-legendary in this region. I fuck with the legendaries in this region. The whole ideology and philosophy of truth versus ideals. What is your purpose in life? After that, the insinuation of there being another primary fourth dragon that was alongside Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina is really sick. Especially with the introduction of Black and White 2. And not only being your rival, but your philosophical equal is a really cool setup. I do fucking hate that Getzes blows his load a little too early for us. Like, we found out immediately. It's like, oh, they're actually bad guys. They're not liberators. They're not trying... Team Plasma isn't trying to liberate Pokemon at all. They just want to keep it all for themselves. And it's like, what the fuck? I didn't say it. I would never do that to you. I don't know who mentioned it then, because that was hours ago. It was praised before. Ah, got you. No. I couldn't remember. Neither one of you has got profile pictures, so I didn't fucking know. I'm sorry. My apologies, Nick. My apologies. But as I was saying before, also black and white. I think this is the first time in where a story isn't actually complete until you beat the post game, right? Because you never beat the champion, you never fully become the legitimate champion. You don't know what goes on with Team Plasma. You've not explored half the fucking region. This is the first time that Game Freak has gone up the way to be like, there's more game. Explore game. Stop complaining and go beat the game. It's also the reason why evolutions in this generation are so fucking high leveled. Like high dragons, like to get a high dragon, you need to get a Pokemon to level 64 to get Volcarona. It needs to be like, what, 59, almost 60 or some shit. Bishop is level 51. Both Mandibuzz and Braviary, I think, are like almost level 50, which is an insanely high level for this game, by the way, because I think N and Getsis are around level 50 to 54, somewhere around there. But yeah, people are still going to complain about the post-game, people are still going to complain about the evolution levels while still absolutely ignoring that. Don't forget, I need to emphasize this so fucking much. I may bitch and complain about the Shadow Slave community being illiterate. Pokemon fans are simply incapable of understanding what letters and numbers fucking mean. You're a competitive battler? Great. You know how certain aspects and mechanics of the game works. Doesn't mean you know how to fucking read shit. Doesn't matter you know how to read shit. There are people in this fucking community that don't think, like, dead ass think certain characters are weaker than champions. Like, Belga in Black and White 2. Alder's grandson. People genuinely think he's weaker than both Alder and Iris, when he is a Battle Frontier champion. And all of Black and White 2 is essentially just like, oh yeah, beat the shit out of each other. I'm gonna get the entire world's strongest of the strongest, and we're all gonna throw fucking fists. That is the point of Black and White 2. But yeah, whatever. Pokemon community can't read for shit. Hence why they complain about the levels being so fucking high. Anyway, Black and White 2 kind of remedies this issue because there is no real post-game story for some fucking reason. But it has a shitload to do in the post-game. There is so much to do in the post-game when it comes to fighting not only different gym leaders across different regions, but also different champions across regions. There's so many legendary Pokemon you can go gather. There's so much more about Kyurem and Reshiram that you can learn. You can fight N. Like, how many times? I think it's 12 times? Because of different seasons, and each season he has, like, 3 teams per season or some shit. It's insane. There's so much to do in the postgame. There's also first time we get gifted shiny Pokemon. Like, gifted to you. You can either get a shiny Dratini or Gible, depending on what version of the Battle Tower you end up defeating. The White Tower or the... Nope, Black Tower or the White Forest. And if you've seen... You don't need to catch, but if you've seen every single Pokemon in the game, which is very possible... You have the chance to go catch an extremely high-leveled shiny Haxorus, which, for people who don't know what shiny Haxorus looks like, this is what shiny Haxorus looks like, and the game is giving you that for free, basically. You still need to catch it, but, like, this thing is fucking sick. This thing is fucking cool. I love shiny Haxorus. Haxorus is in my top 5 Pokemon of all time. Nope. Nope. There we go. And I would say generally it just fixes a lot of the issues that I had with Team Plasma, with a team that's being a bit too fucking on the nose in Black and White 2. I like Getsis. I think the rival's actually worth giving a fuck in this game because he's actually, you know, good. Don't get me wrong. I like Barry. I like Cheren and N. I love Cheren and N, actually. I don't care if, like, you don't have a rival in Gen 3, let's be fucking honest. Blue's a really good rival. I do think, not only Cheren and N, but, why am I forgetting his fucking name? Hugh. I do think Hugh is a pretty good rival in the essence of, like, he's actively trying to make you better, but in the purpose of making you better, he gets better. because he wants to help his little sister get her Pokemon back. It's great. Black and White 2 are the goated games in the series for a reason. Then, if you're a Pokemon, would you say Joshua, Jay, Curbs, or something else? I'd probably say Jay. I'll probably just say Jay. Jay sounds more like you can make Jay sound like a roar. And what would you look like in a shiny? I don't fucking know. Invert and then invert the inversion of my skin color. Or just give me a skin, I don't fucking know. X and Y, I'd say they're better than Diamond and Pearl, Crystal, Red, Blue, Emerald, and... Oh, actually, I'd feel comfortable doing this for the time being. Actually, I'd do that, yeah. X and Y are fine. The stories are whatever. The rivals are, like, whatever. But I do like the batch of Pokemon that do get introduced into this game. I do like the gym leaders that you have to fight in this game. Lysander is shit. But Mega Evolution is an objectively cool gimmick. Mega Evolution, even though it can sometimes suck, is an objectively cool gimmick in this game. The EXP share being spread across all Pokemon was fucking so useful. Oh my god. I don't know if you've ever tried to grind. I know you haven't. But trying to grind up Ordino in Shaking Grass and Black and White 2 is the most fucking painful thing in the goddamn world. Don't get me wrong, you can make grinding easy by learning how to use the EXP share across the game and learning how to swap out your Pokemon and not be a fucking dumbass. And I feel like that's probably the biggest issue I have with Fire Red and Leaf Green and people playing that and saying the level curve is bad. Level curve isn't that bad in Fire Red and Leaf Green. You're just dog shit at using Pokemon. But again, Pokemon fans are the thickest fucking group of people you will ever meet in your life. Anyway. But the post-game story in X and Y is pretty good. It's just an average-ass Pokemon game. I think that's, like, my main issue. For it to be the first jump into 3D of the mainline games that we ever get, I think it's a bit disappointing. I've already talked about Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Post-game's great. Getting a free Latias, or Latios, that's a Mega, is cringe as fuck. I hate it. But I do like Steven Stone just being solidified as the champion. Like, just pair point, period. Even though I do prefer him and Walls to be classified as the same. How on earth do you have specific memories and experience with all these games? My brother in Christ, the least I've ever played a Pokemon game, like I said before, is Brilliant Diamond and Spark and Pearl. And that's about 20 to 30 hours. I want to say I've spent no less than 200 hours in each one of these games. Each one of them. It says Fire Red and Leaf Green. I probably spent 200 hours in both Fire Red and in Leaf Green. So that's 400 hours in just this one alone. Hard Gold, Silver, I think I've beaten that game like 18 fucking times. Same with Platinum. God knows how many times I've beaten Black and White and Black and White 2. It's fucking insane. Don't get me wrong. The time gets smaller and smaller as the games go on. But I have beaten them a fucking bit. I've also done Nuzlocke and like different challenge runs for all of these games. Also, I'm just a fucking nerd. 1 Goomy, 2 Haxorus, 3 Bagon, top 3 favorite Pokemon, a big Dragon Boy. I can't say shit, my 3 favorite Pokemon of all time are 3 dragons as well. Hydreigon, Dracovish, and Haxorus are my 3 favorite Pokemon of all time. It adds up to like half year spent playing on these games. Yes. Yes, most definitely. I was a Pokemon person before I was anything else. I was a Pokemon person before anybody else. It's actually really bad. I've never done shiny runs ever. I've just never cared for it. I can tell you what's a fake shiny and what's a normal shiny. I can tell you what generation a certain sound come from. because I've heard it so many fucking times. It's bad. Gumi is so cute and Gudra is so cool. I don't fuck with Gudra. I think it's Gudra's face. Like, I don't mind it being a lot more of a feminine pseudo-legendary. I couldn't give two rat's ass and a penny about that. I care about the idea that its face kind of annoys me a little bit. It's the same issue with Dragonite. I don't like Dragonite's face. Only Pokemon game outside the mainline that I've played is Pokemon Tekken. Oh. Pokken? Pokken's pretty cool. Its story's shit, but it's a fighting game. I don't expect its story to be fantastic. Got into the anime when Gumi appeared. That's fucking adorable. That's adorable. Speaking of adorable, Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon. These are just great games. I love Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. You know what? I'd probably put Sun and Moon in good. Entirely because I don't like the Lusamine fight in comparison to the Necrozma fight here. There's a couple of the totems that are swapped out from Sun and Moon to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I just prefer. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are the preferred ways to play Sun and Moon. It's just the preferred way to play the 7th generation of games. Necrozma is a really cool Pokemon. The idea of Ultra Space is such a fascinating concept to me. It also Oh no. It's also just a handed way to very easily explain why there can be several legendary Pokemon in a certain region. Rabombi, please survive. Also, it introduces my favorite fairy type of all time, Rabombi. It also introduces my favorite starter of all time, which is Incineroar. Incineroar and Emboar are two of my favorite starter Pokemon to have ever existed. I love them both. I was probably about 4 or 5 when I first saw Gumi. You were 4 to 5 when you first saw Gumi? Fuck, that would make you like 2008. Have y'all seen that Yujiro Hama is appearing in Tekken 8? I don't know how the fuck anybody in the Tekken verse is going to survive against Yujiro Hama. I've seen the hacks of that verse. They do not match to Yujiro Hama. Not even a little bit. Anyway, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, when it comes to its story, when it comes to its battles, when it comes to the actual rival in How, which I don't hate. A lot of people hate How. I don't hate How. Are all collectively just made better via Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Also, Rainbow Rocket is one of the coolest post-game ideas ever. Are you kidding me? I get to fight all of the fucking evil team leaders if they won? Ugh. And depending on what version that you've got, whether it be Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon, they can have you're fighting a different member of the team, right? So if you're playing, I think it's Ultra Moon, you get to fight Maxi, but in Ultra Sun you fight Archie, and in both versions of the game you fight Getus, but one version of Getus will either have Reshiram and the other one will have Zekrom. Same thing with Cyrus, I think. I think both versions can give Cyrus either... what is it? Dialga or Palkia. I don't know why I was hard blanking on their names for a minute there. I was born in 2011. Fucking hell. Oh. I hate that. Literally the first thing that pops in my head was when I had Necrozma is that clip of Rabombi. That's probably where my love for Rabombi came from. I know that's where my love for Rabombi came from. Rabombi's in my top 10 Pokemon ever made. Oh, Quibs is a little baby. Yeah, most of us are more than a decade older than Quibs. Your birthday's on the 7th day. Damn, you young. Yeah, when we take the piss out of Quibs being a baby boy, I'm not kidding. Like I said, I'm almost a whole decade older than him. It's funny. Anyway, let's go Pikachu and Eevee. Good. They're good. They're easy, but they're meant to be easy. It's just a amplified version of Pokemon Yellow. Honestly, you know what? I'm gonna do this. Yeah. I'm 2004. Lamal, bro, is French. I'm 2002. The end of 2002, but still 2002. Anyway. Not quite a decade. Pretty fucking close. That's why I said damn near a decade. And frankly, with how much of a life I've had, it probably is more. It probably is a decade. But yeah, let's go Pikachu and Eevee. Easy, stunning games. These are probably the visually the best Pokemon games that have ever been made. Like, the Let's Go series is fucking beautiful, man. My birthday month PMO, because school was always out when I was celebrating my birthday. Those bastards got celebration and slack on their birthdays. I never got that, because I'm a November baby. Well, everyone's pretty much just, like, praying up for Christmas. And it's, fucking hated it. But, you know, overall, I'd say they're great. I feel like for the purpose of what their purpose was meant to be, I feel like they do a pretty good job. Being born this young should be illegal, honestly. The idea of people spawning into this world at a time where I lived for over a decade feels wrong. It feels terrible. It feels kind of nasty, but hey, we're here now. You're August? Yeah, so you're pretty much summer holidays. Not pretty much, you are summer holidays. Baby of the class. Best month to BH? I'd say July. If you're like near the middle of end of July, it doesn't matter what period of school you're in, you're usually going to be out. It's quite a coincidence since my favorite number is 7 when my birthday is 7th. I don't care about people knowing my birthday, it's the 1st of February. Yeah, so you're start of the year. That's fair enough. That only makes me like a year and a bit older than you then. Y'all unks to me? Yeah, we fucking know, Quibs. Infant. Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield is... It's probably the best out of the good. Its DLCs are great. Both the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra. I love Urshifu. I really like Calyrex. I like the information on the Darkest Day. Leon being introduced to the canonical strongest trainer of all time is fucking wild. It being based in England is gnarly and really fucking cool. Hop is a unironic, fantastic rival. I dare say Hop is the best rival we get ever introduced to when it comes to a story. I love it. It's also, for Hop story specifically, I think it's, for favorite Pokemon, Kubfu. Valid. I really like Urshifu as well. I think I've got a top 100 Pokemon list somewhere. Somewhere in a Discord server many whiles ago. I think I've got a top 100 Pokemon list. Let's see if I can find it. But yeah. Generally, Sword and Shield are underappreciated games that I think deserve nothing but love. But I absolutely understand the hate, because the Darkest Day subplot, the Darkest Day plot is kind of ass. The, oh god, what's his name? Peony? Peony is just shit. My favorite Pokemon is the Ultra Beast. I think it's the jellyfish, the thing with shiny. It's fucking amazing. Oh, not Naganadel. Oh god, Boswald, Naganadel, fucking Lilligan's Gen 5. Neligant? Neligant? Is that the name? I know it's not Naganator. What the fuck's its name? Nihiligo. Oh, yeah, because Nihiligo. Yeah. Nihiligo. Naganadel also has a great shiny. Amen. Okay, that's not the name. That is the actual name. I remembered its name for a long time because of a Lego. For fucking obvious reasons, if you know what that word means. But yeah, no. That's funny. Brilliant Diamond, Spark, and Pearl. Why the fuck do these exist? Should have just made a revamped version of Platinum. Absolute dog shit games. Unapologetically just terrible. Unapologetically just terrible. Everything that was bad about Diamond and Pearl are made worse here, pretty much. The only good thing is the underground. Bastiodon is peak. I do love the fossils. I do love the fossils so much. Legends Arceus, the first Legends game. It's fucking fantastic. Pokemon Legends Arceus, the first time in where we get a mainline Pokemon game that isn't just the mainline Pokemon games. It's a different offshoot. It's the first Legends, and frankly, that's fucking dope. My favorite Ultra Beast is the origami thingy. Oh, fuck's sake, what is that one called? Katana. I love the dinosaur with the, Paraphiliosaurus blade. Why does it only say 1 viewer for me? It says 4 for me, which makes sense. I am biased for the fossils though. Paleosaurus blade. Baxcalibur? Wait, no. No, it's not Baxcalibur. Oh, Polypheus, fucking, oh. Rampardos. Yeah, no man, I knew what you were talking about. Fucking smashing, yeah, Rampardos. Mine is probably Archeops. It's either Archeops or Tyrantrum. Because of Dinosaur King? You're telling me I don't know Dinosaur King? That's my generation. That's my people. But yeah, probably Rampardos. No, it's definitely Rampardos. It's the only actual rampaging one. Scarlet and Violet are really fucking good. Scarlet and Violet are really fucking good. My only issue is that the legendaries do not feel like legendaries in this game. Ogerpon, Terapagos, and both fucking vehicles, not one of them actually feel like legendary Pokemon to me. And that's cringe. Cranidos? Oh, the pre-evolution. That was an amazing show. Yeah, fucking love Dinosaur King. Dinosaur King was goated. But no. The 3 different pathways for Scarlet and Violet is fucking brilliant. The idea of keeping a singular narrative throughout both DLCs is also really, really fucking good between Ogerpon and Terapagos and, Arvin. I think his name's Arvin. could be wrong. It's not Larry. Larry is the GOAT, though. Larry is the top 5 gym leaders of all fucking time. Wait, why am I on Pokemon? Why am I on Bulbapedia? Bulbapedia fucking sucks. Useful characters. Yeah, this is going to be trading game PCs, isn't it? Yeah, an event with Bombay. Whatever. Another ball, Dinosaur King. That shit was peak. Exactly. Yeah, that's Arvin. I will say, the Elite Four are fucking forgettable. They're so shit. Oh, never mind. The Ruinous Pokemon. All 4 of those. Ooh. They feel like legendary Pokemon. The Ruinous Pokemon are so good. I hate when a show tries to do some, like, love triangle bullshit. Season 3 of Legend and Ninjago does that. Oh, between Clay, what is it? It's Clay, Jay, and, Kai's sister, whatever the fuck her name is. God, what a weird fucking show. But yeah, no, Scarlet and Violet are massively underrated. I fucking love it. The Ruinous Pokemon are awesome. Yeah, I fucking love the Ruinous Pokemon. I wish we just got a little bit more information, even though the idea that they're all based on previous rulers. Jay, Cole, and Naya. Yeah. And then it's Zane and Kai. And Lloyd. No, it's Lloyd. That's how I named you, Lloyd. And that's my opinion on all the main Pokemon games. Brilliant Diamond, Sparkle and Pearl shouldn't exist. Ruby and Sapphire are... they're just whatever. Red and Blue, Crystal, Diamond and Pearl, X and Y, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and Pokemon Emerald all alright. Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Gold and Silver, Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, and Pokemon Sword and Shield are good. Pokemon Sun and Moon, Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee are great. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and Pokemon Platinum are amazing. And Pokemon Black and White, Legends, Arceus, and Pokemon Black 2 and White 2 are goated. I would probably throw ZA right between Pokemon Platinum and Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, but I didn't. That game didn't exist when I made this tier list. Bro, remember this is the meme? Brother, I watched the movie when it came out in cinemas. Why wouldn't I? Anyway, it's time for the side games. Arguably some of the best content in Pokemon fucking history. The side games are so good, bro. The side games are so fucking good, even though some of them are really, really fucking weird. Like Pokemon Red Rescue Team is really good. I like it more than Fire Red and Leaf Green. I don't like it more than Sword and Shield, though. Mystery Dungeons are always going to be fucking great. Red Rescue Team and the paradoxical nature of trying to help Rayquaza find out what's going on with the disturbing balances that's going on with the legendary birds, I think it was. Excuse me, I've not played Red Rescue Team or the Pokemon Rescue DX since they came out, and that's been a long time for me. But yeah, I remember it being generally good. I think it just suffered from the idea that it's the first Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game. And where Explorers of Sky immediately fixed that. What a goated fucking game Explorers of Sky is. Holy fuck. God damn, I love Explorers of Sky so much. Pokemon Explorers of Sky, going into the philosophy of, like, how far are you willing to do the correct thing? Are you willing to subjugate yourself for the worst purpose of something? I think this is also the only Pokemon game where Darkrai is verbatim the bad guy. He's also insinuated to be another a person as well, same as you in these games, which is really fucking strange. But Darkrai being able to manipulate not only the God of Time in Dialga, making it corrupted, but also fucking with Celebi, fucking with Palkia, but in the midst of it all, you're getting the help of other Pokemon like Shaymin, and the free lake spirits of Azelf, Yusi, and Mesprit. By the way, Azelf fight is goated as fuck. And the Yuxi fight is also goated. Fighting a hallucinogen Groundon as the third major boss or some shit. Goated. Oh my god. Also, the first Pokemon game to ever make me cry, because what the fuck do you mean I get to save the entire universe? I traveled through time. I saw my old best friend sacrifice himself for me to go through time. I get to travel on top of a Lapras that I just saved to go to the fucking sky to go save the deity of time from corrupting itself into destroying everything. And I die because I fixed the timeline? Insane! And my best friend's crying in front of me? Brother, the ending... The first half of Pokemon Explosive Sky is so unrealistically tragic. Darkrai just sounds like the Loki of Pokemon. No, Darkrai is... Who's the character that is just riddled with bad luck? Who's the character that is just riddled with bad luck? Because Darkrai, in, I guess, every game that is an Explosive Sky, is the accidental villain. He doesn't plan to do half the shit that he does. Anyway, Explosive Sky is good. Never a Pokemon game that's beaten that. Especially not Gates of Infinity, which were just okay. First 3D Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game. And it was weird. You were part of a school and not like a patrol team or an independent team. And you had to find out what was going on with Kyurem. And I think it was something else to do with time as well. I don't think I played this game since it came out on the Wii. I'm not going to lie to you. Been a while. I just remember it not being great. Also, the mechanics being a bit janky. Super Mystery Dungeon were pretty good, though. I liked it. I thought it was fun. Mega Evolution is still, once again, sick. I don't remember what our main team was in this, though, unfortunately. I just... for Mystery Dungeon, I'm entirely going off emotion. I've not played Mystery Dungeon in... God knows how long. But yeah, it's been a very, really long time. Why the fuck do you exist? All 3 Pokemon Ranger games are great. All 3 of them are sick. When it comes to the Pichu with the headband and the ukulele, to helping Raikou, Entei, and Suicune, to helping the legendary birds, to helping Darkrai once again as he's being manipulated to make the darkest day, to going to Pokemon school to learn how to be a ranger, to flying on top of whether it be a Staraptor or Latios and exploring the fucking region, whether it be traveling through time. The Ranger games are gnarly as fuck. They're gnarly as shit. I really wish there were more Ranger games, but I don't know how you'd make them on the Switch. So I don't necessarily blame Game Freak or Nintendo for not producing any more, but fuck, these were great games. These were so fucking... And traveling underwater to go get the Manaphy egg, which you could transfer into Pokemon Platinum at the time. Oh my god, these games were sick. Mystery Dungeon was so cool. Darkrai is one of my personal favorites. I didn't mean to put that question mark in there. Don't worry about it. I don't think I would have questioned it, honestly. Both Stadium games are just kind of... They're good. They're good. I don't... There's, like, nothing there, though. It's just a really fun way to go fight your friends. And to fight certain gym leaders and challenges and shit. Like, it's just a creative way to go through Pokemon Gold and Silver and Yellow, really. And that's all my input on that. I never really grew up on these games. I did grow up on Pokemon Battle Revolution, though. Goated! Nah. It's probably one of the prettiest Pokemon games of all time. Honestly, you can go, like, there. It's great. It's one of the prettiest Pokemon games of all fucking time, in my opinion. I think all of the battle animations are unreal in how they fucking look. I also think the music in this game... I know a lot of the music in Battle Revolutions is very similar to Pokemon Diamond and Pearl and Platinum. But the slight remixes that they do... Gas! Love it. Pokemon Coliseum. I've never beat it. Sorry, I've never beaten it. From what I did play with your Umbreon and Eevee and getting the fucking Catalyst arm thingy mabob, going through the desert and shit, it was cool. It was good. But I can't comfortably say any more than that, unfortunately. Then we've got Pokemon XD, which has honestly one of the best soundtracks of all time, introducing Shadow Pokemon, trying to find out what the fuck is going on with this world and what this evil team is doing, and only being able to catch a Shadow Pokemon is such a cool and unique concept. Frankly, it's pretty fucking good. And once again, Bangrass evil team and the music slaps. Pokepok's cool. Pokepok's cool. I can't remember entirely how Pokepok works because, again, I only played these games on the Wii and I never really had a chance to replay them. I might replay them on stream. Who fucking knows? But for the time being, I liked it. I remember climbing up the tower to having to fight Rayquaza, though. Or having to do anything with Rayquaza. Like, very vaguely. I also think this is the first time we ever learned that Primeape has a tail. Weird thing to remember, I know, but I think this is the first time we'd ever heard it. But I remember it being aight. I remember it being fun. Pokepok 2, though. That shit was gas. Being able to train and play through the game with all the Gen 5 starters and then finding out that the world is breaking apart. Like, there's a whole different universe that's breaking apart with Pokemon like Reshiram and Zekrom and shit. I never beat the game, annoyingly. But I remember having so much fun fighting all of the evolutions of my characters and trying to go through the, like, external dimension and then training there and fighting there and sick. Oh, I love it. If you hear an absolute goated soundtrack, I can set it into the Discord. It's from Time Wanderers 2. That game. I've never heard of that. If you want to send it in the Discord, you can do. I've never heard of it, though. Yikes. Nico Staff. Yeah, Beast Quest. Fucking Christ, I love Beast Quest, man. Beast Quest is such a fucking weird series, dude. You never beat it. The post game was decent. I never had a chance to beat it because it was my auntie's Wii. So when she moved to York with my cousins, she took the game with her. And I never got to beat it. I was really annoyed. I was really, really fucking annoyed. But we were also playing Smash Bros. A lot. Playing Smash Bros. And the Ninja Turtles X Raging Rabbits crossover. Is there a stream tomorrow? Yeah. I think it's going to be a bit more of a chill stream. I think I've decided it'd be a chill stream. But there won't be a stream on Friday. That Friday, I know verbatim, there's not going to be a stream. Pokken Tournament. Not really much of a story, and it's in the useless channel. Thank you. With Pokemon, there wasn't that much of a story, but the combat was really fun. Unfortunately, for a fighting game, it just didn't really live up to the standards that people had for it, including Pokemon 2. I will say that Shadow Mewtwo, though, was fucking gnarly. So we can throw it in, like, about where Gates of Infinity is. I'm pretty sure we might be out. I might be out tomorrow. That's fair. That's fine. What will we do without you, Quibs? We won't be discussing Jet's ass. I know that for a fact. That is something I can say with the utmost confidence we will not be doing. Anyway, Pokemon Snap. It's fun, not really a story. You just go across a bunch of maps and you take really cool and creative photos of Pokemon. Same thing with Pokemon's new Snap. They're good. They're just good games. They're fun. They look stunning. There's not really much to add there. And Pokemon Conquest is dope. Holy fuck, I love Pokemon Conquest. Who's a Fire Emblem fan in here? Y'all just talk shit and run with it. We don't talk shit. Someone's gonna be happier than the rest of us, then. No one ever talks about it except for Quibs. True. Who's the Fire Emblem fan? Anybody in chat Fire Emblem fan? At all? Because if you are, and you've never played Pokemon Conquest, I'd highly recommend doing it. This is what got me into playing Fire Emblem Three Houses. Because I played this for the first time, I want to say a couple years ago. God, it was so fun. Fire Emblem Truly Fire. Exactly. Three Houses is sick. Fuck, is it long, but it's sick. The fuck is Fire Emblem? Oh, Fire Emblem's great. Fire Emblem is a tactical-esque game. I can't spell for fucking emblem to save my life. Never played it. Xeno Chronicles X, on the other hand. I've never played Xeno Chronicles X. It's basically a really complicated version of chess in where a couple of your characters will end up going first, and you've got to attack the team, and you've got to be really tactical in how you take down that team. It's incredibly fun. It's incredibly addictive. The story is usually really, really, really fucking good. And Pokemon did it. And I don't know why they've never done it again. I actually have no idea why they've never tried to do this again. Especially with Scarlet and Violet introducing the idea of Pokemon Kings being a thing. Same with Galar. Oh my god. It took me ages to mention. It took me ages to mention that my DS was messed up and I had to charge it so damn often. Oh no, I got lucky. My DS went through the ringer and that shit still works to this day. No idea how, but it does. It's a turn-based combat. You have way more character depth than you expect, and fan shipping way too much as usual. Well, yeah, because the hyper characters, pretty much. Anyway, here is my list of Pokemon games. Newer games I can't really confirm on here because I made this tier list fucking years ago. Anyway, at the Y category, I've got Pokemon Rescue Team DX, cause why? Same with Brilliant Diamond, Silent Pearl. In the Meta category, I've got Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. In the Alright category, I've got Pokemon Red and Blue, Crystal, Diamond, Gates of Infinity, Pokken Tournament DX, X and Y, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, Pokemon Emerald, and Poke Park. In the Good category, I've got Pokemon New Snap, Yellow, Stadium 2, Stadium, Colosseum, Battle Revolution, Super Mystery Dungeon, Gold and Silver, Fire Red and Leaf Green, Pokemon Red, Blue, Rescue Team, and Pokemon Sword and Shield. Honestly, I will keep it there for now. In the Great category, I've got all three Pokemon Ranger games, which I've concluded into one because, let's be honest, they're all too similar. Pokemon Sun and Moon, Pokemon XD Gales of Darkness, I think it's called. Pokemon 2, Poke Park 2 Wonders Beyond, Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. In the Amazing category, I've got Pokemon Conquest, Scarlet and Violet, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon and Platinum, and in the Goated category, I've got Pokemon Black and White, Explorers the Sky, Legends Arceus, and Black 2, White 2. For Pokopia, honestly, I'd probably put it in the top of great, right above Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu, and Eevee. I feel like if it had DLCs or expansions, it'd be thrown right there. And Pokemon Legends ZA plus its DLC, I would probably throw right above Pokepark. No, I'd throw it in between Scarlet and Violet and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. But hey, that's just me. That's just my ranking. Because God, we've been here for a while. And yeah, I feel like we can save the Dark Souls boss tier list for another day. Another day, you know, it's only 11:30 at night. I was grounded and I had my DSi. It was still in 3 bars of power. I forgot where it was and found it 3 years later, and it lost a single bar of power. Very similar. I have a DS XL, like the blue DS XL. That shit was fully charged 6 years ago. I brought it out. It was still fully charged. All 4 cartridges were still there. I still don't know why battery was messed up. But you don't look at gift horse in the mouth. What? Huh? Fucking what? That is certainly a saying of sayings. I'll give you that one, Arlen. That is most definitely a saying that has been said now. When they say they asked me to play a horror movie and then I just put on February to May 20... Fuck off, woman. Fuck off, woman. You and your issues ain't even real. You can tell a horse's age by their teeth. Oh, how it like branches out, kind of thing. I've heard of that. I never knew if it was true though, but I guess it is. Save. Pokemon tier list update 2026. Download and save. Save, bitch. Save, bitch. Okay, fine. Fuck you. What was this? Oh, yeah, stories I've read. And then, yeah. Swabian. So now you get... So when you get a gift, one, don't look at its mouth for sure and complain about it. That's insane. Yeah. We will leave this. Honestly, we can do this tomorrow. Tomorrow's only meant to be a chill stream. We can watch a couple of videos that have been recommended. I'll let you guys recommend videos that you think might shock me. And then we'll do a little bit of this. And I do mean a little bit. We'll save it for another day. But for the time being, I can't believe you people sat through this stream for 3 hours and 40 minutes, and it was only 2 tier lists. That's bonkers. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. Anyway. Oh, that tier list looks juicy. If you start this now, Joshua, we won't leave until the end of the week. If I start it now, I'm not going to bed until fucking 3 in the morning. Okay, I'm not going out tomorrow. We're going out on Wednesday. Fair dues, fair dues, fair dues. If I have one more comment telling me on my Shadow Slave videos, if you really struggle to read, put on the audiobook on YouTube when it's the most degrading audio of the, like, degraded AI audio sound ever. Ooh, I'll fucking strangle a cunt to death. You can go review my fanfic if you want to go slow tomorrow. I prefer to just do that in my free time. Reward kittens for those who are interested for the list. Yeah, fuck it. Let's get you kitten time. Let's show you how. I'll show you how big these kittens have gotten now. I'll show you the old ones though. There we go. We have kitten time. As you can see, both their eyes are open. They're barely a week old. How are you guys? Y'all chilling? Y'all bugging? Look how fucking huge these guys are. Whoa. They are fucking huge. Audiobooks are slow as fuck. Like, how can SMW hear 2K chapters like genuinely 3K even? They grow Titan Slayer. Shows your cohort. I like the grey one, the little streak. Yeah, the grey one's cute. It's also the first one to have its eyes fully prayed open. Yeah. I need the first one with your eyes open. Look how fucking big its head is. Seriously, look how fucking huge these guys are. There's a Shadow Slave audiobook on YouTube that is like 105 hours and it only... Yeah, I know, that's the one I'm talking about. It sounds like shit. Not yours. Yeah, don't bother. Don't bother. Anyway, let's put these away and then the stream. Thank you, everybody, for joining me for the better off of 4 hours. We'll see you tomorrow. Again, short stream. If you've got videos that you want me to watch at all, put them in the Discord. Preferably the useless, not gonna lie. Because why not? Why not? I feel like it'd be fun. I'm pretty sure I'm Joshua's number one viewer in all time points at this point. You are, by far. Anyway, goodbye. See y'all tomorrow.